Tomorrow's Today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tomorrow's Today, a visual podcast for art, comedy, and experimental fun stuff.
I'm the Dux Fox.
And I'm Spyfry.
And we're here today after a couple little hiccups here and a little bit of a learning experience to bring you back our next show in the series of
Heavy Artillery.
That's right, the show that goes over and displays all sorts of art just for your carnal needs, and whether or not you actually need it or not, we're doing it anyway. Deal with it. So I know I made a promise some time ago about how we would have a musical artist and to bring him on and actually play some stuff.
We're going to have to wait on that a little bit.
Yeah, we had a couple little scheduling conflicts, unfortunately, due to, one, the radio part we're trying to set up with AFR, and two, the radio not working the way that it was supposed to when I had originally downloaded it. So that is still a technical issue that is... That is still a technical issue that is ongoing, and we'll see about getting that sorted out here soon. Now, in the meantime, we remembered that while we were playing ESO, we had met up with an artist inside of our Khajiit of Light group, of all things, believe it or not. And we decided, hey, you know what? This would be a good guy to bring in. He's very talkative, and he can...
Yeah, and he's even shared a few pieces of art, and we thought it was great.
Exactly. And that's what's been displaying since the start of the show, since when it's been silent to now, and when we actually have sound and you can actually hear us. I'm going to rub myself raw with that now. So anyways, let me get back to the info that I had earlier. We're going to meet up with a gentleman who started drawing when he was 17 in high school, when he was particularly motivated by a drawing, and it inspired him to draw his first character. Story that stayed as a little mindworm in his head for years. He always strived to be able to draw a comic for that very reason, just hasn't attempted it yet. He's also served in the Army for about 6 years. He's been drawing the whole time, and they range from anywhere from once a month to every week. That said, we are going to give a warm welcome to our guest, SplatterCat. How are you doing, Mr. SplatterCat?
Welcome.
I know it's weird that we started all over, just,
Yeah, I ran through like 16 different intros. I'm like, well, I can't do the slamming the desk anymore because, we sold that. We lost out on that one. What could I do? Nothing. All right.
Yeah.
I'll just reference it in the past, and you guys know you missed out on awesome.
Yeah, it was. He actually came up with a pretty good intro when he.
That'll be man. Lost the time.
Lost the time.
Know.
Lost the sound too. Yep.
Not lost the sound.
Yep.
Yeah. So like not Afro Samurai. Samurai Jack. We got to get back. We got to get back to when we started this and didn't have any sound.
Indeed.
But this time with sound.
Yeah, this time with sound. We just have to try and recreate all the topics that we had just talked about.
The mute button is a poo, and we need to correct that. All right. So
technical difficulties, no matter how experienced you are always going to happen, even when you're drawing.
They are the end game of everything.
Indeed. So that being said, let's try and go back a little bit to where we were going up. We asked how you were doing. You answered at a good time there. Let's go back. So as we've been scrolling through a lot of your pictures here, where people thought that we were running late, we were talking about what got you started into art. We were highlighting when you started seeing stuff when you were 17. Let's try and transcend that topic again. What brought you into starting to draw the way that you do?
Right. So it's interesting. Actually, on screen right now, those kind of patterns and whatnot was a large part of what I started with when I was a kid. It's a good example. I also liked doing. Well, it was just a matter of creativity. It was doodling. Things like sound systems and cities falling apart. In terms of cities, like that background right there, wow, these are just lining up perfectly with me.
I know, right?
Doodling, anyone could have done these, and it was great. And why I tried to elevate my art to better represent what I was thinking. I don't know why I continued at it. To the point that I did. To the point that it kicked off. There is one. So I was drawing, and one time I came across a particular artwork from another artist, and I was drawing traditionally at the time. I'm still just about as bad at traditional as I am then. And I went, oh, yeah, cool. I'll use this as a base. And I drew it. And I went, she's kind of cute. I want to draw another one of these. I drew another one of these. And I'm like, ooh. I did this thing where I go, what if I start taking, her apart? Typically, it's like, you play in Minecraft or something. I make like a castle or fortress. Well, I want to take it apart then too, and I want it to be derelict, and I want to start, knocking the walls down. I like ruins more, right? But I want to build something, then take it down. I think there's a lot of, the creator of Dark Souls, Miyazaki, had some great information about that of something beautiful because it was beautiful and is now taken down and destroyed. Well, that fed into, I started cutting her up and taking arms off and would just put shrapnel in her and everything. And then I went, yeah, but why though?
And that's where you would start getting into your narrative, right?
Yeah. There's a kickoff where I start creating a narrative for her. And I won't get into the narrative for the sake of time, but I will say that she's been on screen a couple times. That tabby with spiky hair has just stuck in my head, and I just kept wanting to do I want to lead up to a comic, and I've always said, well, you're not good enough, and I'm usually right. But I'm feeling at a point where I might start it, if it's possible here. Doing a comic is just an incredible endeavor, and I guess the right thing we've come up with is start failing early. If you want to do something similar, I feel like a lot of people would want to do comics and whatnot. Start failing early.
What was that motto that you had? Don't admit you improved.
Yeah, never admit you improved. Start failing early. Yeah, there we go. That's usually the advice that I think. If you admit you improved, if you're, if I'm talking about myself, I'm to be hyperbolic. If you're happy with how you're drawing, you've already lost, because nothing is worse than that okay-ish traditional artist chick on Facebook who everyone knows, and she thinks she is the next coming of Picasso, the Christ, figure, and is just up her own ass. And she will never get better. She won't fix her problems because she's not listening to anyone's.
Right. There's no room
I'm not saying
for
you should always listen to
improvement.
people's feedback, but yeah.
So you would say that
it's your own worst critic.
You would say that it's probably better for yourself to admit that you have problems to help strive yourself to keep
I
getting
think
better.
Your first thought should be what you do wrong. Now that's me, but only finding your flaws isn't that bad. I'm at a point where I don't need positivity to feel positive. I feel quite calm in more subtle things, and in this case, beating myself up and whatnot is totally a comfort zone for me. It's fine.
I know that there's a lot of artists who when they confront some of their pieces, they definitely start nitpicking. I can tell you numerous days where Spy would start picking at her piece about what she doesn't like or what she could do better and everything like that. But would you say that it's fair that you also have to be able to accept what you did right?
Yeah, because you need to save it. Certainly, don't get a big. Basically, don't ever admit that you are improving. Means do not rest on your laurels. Hardly ever. Mm-hmm. Save what you've done right and carry that forward. Most certainly, but on a grander scale, or you'll kind of lose yourself.
So that said, we delved into a topic earlier that I want to rehash. With the way that you talk about building up your characters, I've noticed that those who are more literary, they'll actually build up a character based on the story first and his accomplishments, and then build the character around the story itself. And then artists who are more graphically inclined, they will turn around and make the character first and then build the story off of that. And it's fair to say that you're the latter, right?
Yeah, you definitely. It's a thing where I think in the past, when we were muted, I gave a anecdote on it recently. But in short, I saw a character that some more novice artist had done, but was very creative, and went, "Oh, I want to. Oh, that's awesome. I love I made a narrative around him. Like, he had one robotic arm. I'm like, it's too expensive in this world to make two arms, so that's why he's got this like colonial red coat and like grenades hanging around it and a katana. And I'm like, he's got one arm, and I'm like, yeah, he only has the one arm, but he lost both his, but he can only replace one, and now he's doing this Afro Samurai type thing, and I'm like, that is dope. I love it. Not a single word from the artist who created it. Just went, that's what's going on here. I love it. I see something very much the same with music. I think Gaelic music tends to usually provide me the most inspiration, second only to like power metal.
Mm-hmm.
And you may think that because those give me the most inspiration to listen to them a lot. That's not the case. I listen to a ton of stuff, and those usually don't come up. I usually save those, for all right, I need inspiration.
Gotcha.
And I go listen to, something like that along those lines.
Well, just a reminder to the audience, too, if you would like to ask SplatterCat any questions about the different pictures that you're seeing or your feelings about those, by all means, go ahead and make a comment over there in the chat box.
I'll make you cry like it's Dr. Phil.
There's that. We can also make sure that we see about getting your questions answered about his perspective, how he approaches things. I think it's fair to say that you would call your art a little bit more unorthodox.
I'd say my methods are definitely far more unorthodox. I hope that's what someone out there needs, is because it does seem kind of homogenized in terms of artists, of successful artists' advice seems rather homogenized, and there's a reason. It's because it's what works or whatnot. But I think a different angle is always more valuable. Variety is the most valuable thing. So I hope I'm what someone needs out there. Coming at it from a very different perspective.
Oh, absolutely.
God, we all wish we were Bob Ross, but but he'd be happy with who you are. So leave Bob Ross to Bob Ross. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can find the way that you want to portray yourself, then that's really what matters. And I know we've harped before in the show about making sure that when you are producing a specimen or a subject or anything like that, it's always a good practice to name your layers, to have a format so that you can reprise what you're trying to do. Having those forms and stuff are really great, but the most important part is that you do what absolutely works for you.
Right, because when it comes down to it, like when you're sitting there naming every layer and whatnot, I think of the sage advice of one MC Ride. He said, responsibility is cool, but there's more things in life, like getting your dick rode all fucking night. And do we really have time to be naming everything? No, we don't. I've got some tricks for around it and way around. I won't say lazy because, like I said, definitely strive to fail. Shoot too high. Don't be lazy about it. You want to shoot too high, but there are definitely moments where you need to cut time so that you can get more quantity out of things. Because I tend to subscribe to the idea that it's not how much you sit there and practice how to draw one thing. How the artists want to do like one sheet of faces, or do these drills and whatnot. I'm very much no, doing more drawings.
Gotcha.
If they're bad, it's not that perfect practice makes perfect, but it is kind of that if you keep trying so hard every time, the wrong way, the more times you start an image and get to a point that you want to throw it out or whatever, the better you're off you're going to be. The more images you can start and get to a completion point will be, how you improve, I feel.
Speaking of throwing things out, how would you re-motivate yourself when you're not feeling inspired with the piece that you're working on?
I'm unfortunately unhelpful there. Drink water.
Drink water.
Listen to some, maybe not loud, aggressive music. Maybe your deal is something really calm and whatnot. I'll listen to just god-awful music. I mean, something like Daughters, You Won't Get What You Want album. Hard to listen to. That's what I'll do because I want to beat myself back into thinking. I want to clutter my brain so that it can work smoothly.
So would you say that for you it's more helpful to have like an interference to get your mind going, or would you need something?
Yeah, I need more noise. I will say also water. You don't know how Oh, shit. This is the army in me.
It's
right?
okay.
It's the most army thing I will say. But seriously, you do not. Mostly everyone does not realize how big a deal the water is to your brain functioning. It's not about physical going out and doing things. It will make your brain work better.
No,
It'll
absolutely.
make your immune system work better. Just hydrate the hell, piss clear all the time, 24/7. Will help you.
I can't do that because if I
know,
overload in a
there
drink,
might be
I'm going like every 5 minutes.
Yep.
Gatorades then, and well, hey, that's not gonna.
Well, see, that's the measuring unit inside the military, myself included. You know that you're going to pass your analysis test if you're like a light yellow to a clear.
Right. Also,
So
you're gonna get like wounded and about collapse on the floor and piss yourself because I did that because you're standing in a line waiting for a UN.
Yeah, that's also a
And you're
problem.
like, it's the microwave room in Metal Gear Solid 4 where you're
Oh.
just perpetually taking damage. Collapse.
Gotcha.
Collapse on the floor, then piss yourself. Yeah,
So,
it's horrible. Oh, go ahead.
So, let's talk about the way that you what brought you into like the genre of how you portray your art. I know a lot of it that you've been doing lately has been for some of your ESO mates and making different Khajiits and whatnot. I know that's how we met you, is through ESO and just doing some dungeons and crawling around in there and goofing off and everything. But when people approach you about the art, how do you want to convey that stuff for those people who ask you about creating something for their characters?
So sorry. The question is how I
how you
react
approach portraying their characters, knowing that it's an ESO reference. You know that the Khajiit have a particular look. How do you approach that?
Khajiit's on the screen right now.
Right.
I think about that heavily. With my own character, I mentioned I draw her perpetually. I've made her less and less cat on purpose. Well, not cat. People actually never could identify her race as cat or her species, which I always thought funny. I'm like, it looks pretty cat to me. I don't know, but I'm not judge that. I've done more and more pushing in with her specifically. I want a cross between humans and animals. Right, I love that far more. Even in these earlier ones here, which are kind of still have the big eye problem, you still see the face, the jawline is very human. And
if you want, we can switch to
I draw
the
more of a human than anything with her. It's hard to tell. Now
we could switch to the subject that you're working on right now if you want to try and talk about that process there.
Almost, but what I want to say is when it comes to portraying a character, God, I'm not sure if the high elf got in here. She's in full Daggerfall Covenant armor. But it was one thing where it's a great example of when I'm drawing a Khajiit, right? No, I'm drawing a furry. I'm going for a cat face on a body because that's kind of what they did. I think in both, and I think very hard on in Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, and in EO, you have a very unique physicality that is not very human-like, and you could say it's bad modeling, but it seems kind of intentional in the way they've done it. And I really appreciate when artists represent that, because like representing reality, I want to represent the art I am working off of, the base that I'm working off of.
Gotcha.
And that's what's very important for me, is replicating the character as I do it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Wolfsinger says Jala poses.
Jala poses.
Yep.
Hala poses.
Yeah, Hala poses. He wrote that in the chat, so I just wanted to...
Yeah, I just don't know. Yeah, not sure. Did I say Hala
That's his
poses?
character.
Oh, that's his
so.
character.
Oh, Jala. Oh. Yeah,
he's in the Khajiit of Light as well.
You'll see, like, there's a brown tab. Yep, here we go, on screen. Wow, this is really lining up still. These two, that is my Les Besties character, the white, God, I hate white characters, white snow leopard. I hate white fur. And the other one is mine, Paws, with all of the tattoos. She's got a whole Mexican cartel type thing going on.
By the way, Splatter, if you want a specific picture up there longer, just give us the title of it and we'll pop it up there.
Yeah, we have everything on reserves.
Oh, that's fun because if you read the names, you'll know how my naming structure goes. It's cryptic, to say the least. I don't remember them. What is this, Asgard? I think this is Asgard. Which sounds like a Norse, place. Well, no, it's Ass and Guard because it's a storm vermin. Yeah, whatever. That would be a whole nother subject, just fan art. Frankly. But what I was trying to say with the fan art, the most important thing I think takeaway is when I did like the high elf, it's people, especially non-artists who want you to draw for them. I'm sure you've ran into this. They're not very good at portraying character. At least to me. You could say to me, like I don't. Because I want to go, okay, what expression do I want them to have? Well, that's going to be on their personality. Well, what's their personality? Oh, they don't take shit from anyone. Oh, that really helps me, man. That really makes it for, oh, yeah, I know that is.
That goes into the whole edgelord discussion we had said offline about.
Take the, nope, doing the stutters. Okay. Take, with my character, Rough Paws, the brown one with all the ink and whatnot, always has her head tilted. In game, I use the ironically, I use the literal personality for Telvanni Magistrate, where she's standing and thinking, and it's the personality that she always got her head tilted, looking at something, always chin up, and it lets me practice that pose a lot. But that's what's important, is that her head's up and she's like at everything.
I gotcha.
That's what you don't get when you're doing it. When I said, okay, what's with this Necro in Daggerfall Covenant armor high elf? What do I get from that? Nothing. That is what I got was a screenshot of the character.
It's literally like saying, okay, this is a piece of corn, and you're just looking at it, and you're a corn. You're like, I can't.
Yeah, so I went for the default. Okay, aloof face here. She's staring off into space, very much like this. Yeah, on screen right now. That one.
Yeah.
I want to say here's an example of just nudity because it was just expected. I wanted to show the character was female because it'd be hard, especially how poor I drew at the time. How it'd be hard to tell that they're that I wanted a female character.
Well, speaking of like how poor you were, knowing that you had said that you don't want to admit that you've gotten better, what would you, out of some of the pieces that you submitted, which ones would you say are some of your earlier pieces, so we can kind of show your transition?
Actually, rather easy to say for the most part. There is one that's the earliest piece. If you find, what are they named? Something Mancer? No, Wizard? No, was something else. Couldn't remember it, but it's a elf-looking dude with a cyberpunk arm and everything. That is one of the earliest things, mainly because I had a good reference to go off of for it. Most of my early, here we go. Wow, good job. And there's some cool. This is the thing, right? I love character design. I love just throwing stuff on him. I'm like, yeah, the robot comes out of his skin and stuff, and he's got the spike coming out his back for some reason. It's cool.
Is it the one that's on the screen now?
It was
got
the one
like
that
the bit
was
of the
just up,
horns. Yeah. Oh, okay.
That was a character from For Honor. Again, Princess Monster Truck, my waifu. But okay, train of thought. And it was the easy way to tell the earliest arts is where the eyes are too large for no reason. There you go. That wasn't bad.
So this one that we have up now is what we're talking about. The one
that actually was kind of old. That's at least 3 or 4 years old, and I just drew it. Didn't have to draw a face. The easy way to tell early art is for some reason I drew huge eyes, which is weird because I hate anime and I went, yeah, I'm not doing that big eye shit, and then I drew massive oversized eyes that don't fit the characters. I was shocked looking back at my own art to go, why was I doing that? I don't remember.
Maybe you just kind of blacked out through it.
The eyes. Yeah, I can't for the life of me figure it out. Now, if you look at I think the best examples I've incorporated, I've hit a ton of shit. But the ones I've incorporated are any of them that are Sajir dress, Shazir pose or posey.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Those, it would be a great example of just why was I doing that? I can't remember. I thought I was self-aware enough to know, but sometimes I just don't see shit. I have no idea what I was going for, why I did it. And those are very early. A ton, like years were spent drawing like that for some weird reason. Fuck if I know. If you can't find it, Dance Macabre also demonstrates this.
Mm-hmm.
God, I want to redo that image. It would be very cool. And Dance Macabre is something that definitely inspired me greatly as an artist.
So if we were to
redoing it-
if we were to look back at like we're looking at if we just stick with this image just for right now, just for what would you say?
I'm trying to stand still. Go ahead.
What would you say? What would you say now you would criticize this image for that you would highlight in the next image to try and do better at?
In the next image, so
like if
what
you
would
were
I
to do a
highlight?
remake of this image, like from total scratch.
This is interesting because at the time I did not realize what my favorite part of art was, and it's exemplary. It's displayed here. I love planes. I love depth in the line art.
Mm-hmm.
Depth usually is something that's saved for shading. I've had artists tell me you can't have depth without shading and whatnot. To a degree, that's kind of right. But if you take lines and draw a cube in three-dimensional space, you created depth in my fucking mind. I don't care. And that's what I love is a three-dimensional shape to everything. And you can see, the chest has a distance before you get to the shoulders. That's what I actually enjoyed. Could not pin that down at the time, and it would have disappeared for a while. I think in the next image you're going to show, it'll be what I took away from it was dynamic posing, which isn't quite the same thing,
What
but
about
you
this
can
one?
easily overlap them.
Would you say this one has more of that dynamic that you were talking about?
Yeah, it's very dynamic. That's very recent too. That's pain, and the intention here was I already knew how to, I wasn't trying anything new. What I was trying was just a Darkest Dungeon style. I went, okay, thick lines. Here we go. And it's actually a PNG where you could see that there is a thick outline around everything, but hey, it doesn't matter. That was the thing where I went, okay, Darkest Dungeon, shading with black lines and everything, and doing just thick, meaty line art. That was fun. That was something recent, I think.
So something else we'd like to do with the artists is not only just show their transitions from their early works to the late works, but we also want to kind of give artists how they get into their process. Do you have an image that we can see about exploring and see about how you go about some of the different stuff that you do? I'll transition the screen when we set up, but
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, if you before I transition the screen over, I know you're working on a piece right now, but there you go. Okay, cool. That one.
Which one? Oh, this one. Okay.
I was thinking
actually like to start with this one.
Yeah, that one. That one's fine. We'll go over that one and we'll look at that real quick. And
I'm gonna bamboozle you.
nope. Not only that, but I need to make sure that my OBS actually is capturing your thing, and it's not. So let's fix that. There we go. And everybody sees my OBS. That's wonderful. Ha ha ha. Okay, there we go.
Hello.
So right now we're looking at your how to draw an owl.
This is how my drawing process works.
I've seen that picture a number of times, and I'm like, yeah, that's
It's-
actually pretty
it's
accurate
great.
for some people.
I don't even think for some people. I think it's not as calculated in an art form as new people might think, where there's an answer they can Google on how to do a process. It is very much what you have done and what you will continue to do, and you will just do it. It's not sit there and do these things. It's, hey, that worked one time. Well, I actually got stuck doing it a lot, so now I'm used to it. That tends to be how a process works, but which is why this drawing is funny on multiple levels.
Absolutely.
A quick
I will-
question from the non-furry furry. Who is your favorite artist and your favorite personal artwork?
There are a few. Favorite what of art? Sorry,
Your favorite artist, someone not you,
yeah.
and your favorite personal artwork that you've created.
Okay. Wow, first one's hard, second one's hard. There are a couple. I think if you just have my thing open, I will just say this Winry person is someone I am going towards. I want to do what they do with cat faces and everything, and it really works. Very much enjoying them. Uh, give them a shout out. There are. Oh, if I could find it real quick. There's someone who, if my colors are kind of bad, and there's someone who does the most crazy colors. But I'd say, oh, no. I'll combine personality and artwork. Favorite personality and artwork is shout out to Plague of Gripes if you haven't watched his content or on his Patreon. He does YouTube videos. He does animations technically, but he does a lot of art, fortunately. And the guy's wise beyond his years, which is considerable because he's like 38 or. And he relate to him on a spiritual level. Just love that guy. His art is killer. Like what he can do with line art, what he can do with binary, where there's no rastering or anything. He takes I guess I'm on my screen here. Yeah,
Yes.
You take a binary pen, and instead of you're drawing this instead of that, with the blurry, and he can do something with basically what's essentially 1,000 by 1,000 pixel art. Incredible work that is amazing.
So basically, he's doing Minecraft with pixels.
Essentially, yeah. You just like, well, it's the difference is it's a 4,000 canvas, but he is using essentially pixels on a brush.
I mean, I've heard of being close to your work, but that kind of blows it out of proportion, doesn't it?
Yeah, let me.
So if we
Yeah.
if
Go
we if we go back to your other picture to start dissecting it, we saw the established picture. That's the one with the female cat holding the jumped person, I think the spy or something.
Okay. Oh no. Oh.
Was
oh.
it the
that's-
pull-ups
They're
one?
doing pull-ups, and the other one's hanging off the
I'll
one's shoulder because
pull
that's
that up for
they're
you.
the. I believe. Oh no! You're talking about. You wanted this one. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Misunderstood.
There you go.
There we go.
This was interesting because this is relevant because it's one of the times where I went, okay, we're gonna go as Cyberpunk 2020 had a new trailer, and someone has to do this, and I went, oh, I haven't drawn robot arms since forever. I love robot arms, and I haven't changed any either. But I thought it'd be appropriate to go, okay, we'll go as hard as we can on rendering, essentially. As much of so to start off, the image is in only there's a couple names for it, but only tertiary lighting, rather, like you don't have any sunlight, right? Because that's up here in the background. But you're all in a shadow, so what you're getting is the lighting from the sky, right?
Diffusement, basically, right?
Diffusion. There are, depending on the medium, the name changes all the time. Ray tracing is the popular one for for real-time CGI, i.e., video games and stuff. They're talking about ray tracing
For like reflections and shadows.
Yeah, media, or rather, film calls it something else. I think diffusion is mainly for film. And and art is has tertiary lighting and other things like that. Ambient occlusion. There we go.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's lighting from non-direct sources, like the entire sky is brighter than the shadow, so it's going to light the shadow.
So when you
can
started this
go
piece,
out on a blue sky day and check this out when you stand in the shadow. Go ahead.
When you were starting this piece, did you want to factor in the lighting and stuff right from the get-go, or did you work into that through your process?
God, it might be hard to remember. I think I was pushing for more and more and watching a lot of videos at the time, so it naturally came to be, okay, we'll do everything here. We'll do everything we can. There's 3 levels of shading. You'll notice, what's important, side note, is that my, man, what does that even do? I don't know. Okay. Well, I don't know what that does. But we'll turn it off.
Let's
what-
water it down and let's start it
Go
at the base of everything. Let's where did you start before we get into like pigments, colorations, the highlights and shadows and stuff?
Down to
How
the very
let's
foundation.
go to the very foundation of how you brought your line art to become that. If you have like the sketch or whatever, let's completely dissolve it to its base elements and let's start building up from there. Take us to the very beginning of your image and let's see if we can start explaining it from there.
All right. I can't read a lot of highlights, but we'll start doing that. So you're kind of seeing it here, but oh boy, did we just do everything? Okay, and then take away the shading. Yep, and that's all stuff for Homeboy. Okay, that explains it. Oh, he just disappears.
That's fine. We can add him later.
Cool.
He
He's all-
wasn't really
he's
the
actually-
focus of
he's
your
actually
stuff.
The
If I recall.
problem that kind of lead me away because I couldn't draw him right.
Right.
Everything here looks pretty outstanding, and I realized I never drew the dude in, and I went, "Oh no, now I have to draw a dude." I just couldn't bring myself to do it good. You know, I just couldn't put the emotional energy into drawing it right, or
So-
with 3-dimensional space and everything. And that's what kind of tipped me off that I had stretched myself too far, and I didn't want to be a render. I didn't want to be a Sakimi-chan or something like that.
Mhm.
You know, I didn't want to be somebody's polishing the soul out of my art. That sounds really harsh, but it is. I don't like Sakimi-chan, but it is, not necessarily what you do when you render. You can add a ton of gravitas to your image by painting, essentially. And that's where I turned around on this, going, I'm not my intention. It's good to know all these things about diffusion or
Occlusions and
occlusion.
stuff, right?
Occlusions, yeah.
Mhm.
But it is not serving me well here. I'll have to keep it in the background. Same as drawing silhouettes in contrast. Not something I want to do all the time, but it is important to know.
So we touched on this from the earlier that
Yeah.
you knew that you wanted to see about building up a cyborg because of Cyberpunk 2020 coming out.
Yeah.
Where did you start going for the direction of this? You knew you wanted to make a cat character.
Well, no, this is a request, as you can tell.
Oh.
It has white fur, and I would never have made a white furred character.
Gotcha.
But it worked for this. It actually was easier to do this because of the, aforementioned things. The white actually worked in this case to make it to my advantage.
Okay.
No, I said, someone had some character, and I don't know what it is with these people in robot arms, but they wanted robot arms. So I said, cool. And they said it does some mind jacking thing. Neat, we'll do that. They have, I think it's a Second Life character. That might be why they have robot arms. That might be why the, details look the way they do.
Mhm.
This is what's fun to me, and what's horrible about doing robots is, this this kind of thing going on with all of the shapes.
So were you presented with the subject before you drew it, or did
Yes. I said, I think I said I want to draw that. I approached them, and they said awesome. And I got to work. I had a lot of fun coming up. I try and make a different body for each character I draw, and I went, okay, well, I had fun with the body. I had fun with, this. I know people tend to cringe at hands and whatnot, and a robot hand sounds like a nightmare, but I love them.
Mhm.
And I got to do we'll do a cool long perspective shot that I think came out just perfect.
Now with the
A
pose that
lot
you were
of-
doing with that, did you? I know we don't have the reference lines for it, but did you reference those lines in order to get the shape that you wanted, or did you just start Did you just start hardcore and start with the dark
yeah,
lines?
because this is ink, actually, now that I think about it. But the problem is I have them. Oh, wait, yeah. Walter Mark III or whatever is.
Mhm.
If you want pro tip, if you want Cyberpunk. Oh yeah, I actually did a silhouette spin. I hate guns and drawing them, so yeah, I cheated. You caught me.
Man, there's a person I know who can help you with that. His name's Fleety.
I love guns so much. I mean, well, I just pulled a Walter APK that it was like a failed thing from the 80s. But pro tip, if you want something sci-fi, something Star Wars, pick some old cryptic gun that no one's heard of, like this. And people will just buy it. I mean, for Christ's sake, the Mandalorian is using a Bergman model of 1883.
If I recall correctly, a lot of the
It's one of
stormtrooper
the
weapons
first
are based off of grease guns
Go
or
ahead.
something like that.
What? Well, yeah, like I said, the Mandalorians is one of the first auto-loading weapons ever made, and he's using it in the movie. And all they did was put a circle in the center of the stock and be like, "Yeah, there we go, space gun now."
Yeah.
Old trick, works great. Don't take your Barrett or your AR. Well, there's some cool stuff in like whatever. Digressing. I unfortunately do not seem up. There we go. I do have them. I do.
Oh,
have
your referencer. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I thought I lost it. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So this is almost where I started. There may have been one thing more vague, but this is almost where I started. Yeah, this is important to talk about. I went, yeah, okay, how do you do this? You do this. God, I feel like I am missing something because I usually another layer that has the clothes and items.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't try too hard because I'll get hung up on the face and work.
So would you
There
say?
are some cases. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you say when you made this SketchUp, like you know that you had this for the basic idea, the concept, we can tell just by looking at it that you have a lot of the form and ratios really well done. I mean,
Tell what I tried at and what I did. Yeah,
Exactly.
What I like doing and what I don't like doing. Faces
So-
is one thing I need to work on.
after getting the sketch that you did here, after getting the sketch to an area where you're comfortable to make it more rigid, talk to me about like when you actually started working on the line art itself. How when I watch Spirey working on line art, like when she does a sketch, it kind of goes out pretty quickly. She does a couple little corrections here and there, but when it comes to actually putting the lines and stuff down there, I will see her Control Z so many different times.
Yeah. That definitely varies on artists. I actually am more likely to hit E and erase part of a line that I drew incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just as likely to do Z a million times as I try and make a curve. I do tend to draw with far more curves than I do lines. That works because it's a trick, right? You think, what do you use curves for? You use curves for the breast or something? But no, I'm using curves here. These aren't straight. Well, here, we'll step on. So this actually, there is an in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I went here as a first sketch. Essentially, I had erased the simplest things that I had done while doing this image. I just saved time. Didn't want to have too many images. I say as I have 60. Or too many layers. Sorry, I didn't want too many layers as I have 60.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta save those layers. And then erased it and essentially drew the rest of the fucking owl. As you can see here. I went from... It is from here, and I start drawing on top of them. I start drawing the equipment and stuff. I use this as a mannequin.
So you didn't necessarily
fix
sketch out the armor.
problems.
You just... Oh, no.
Kind of draw it. Which is a bit of an issue I have that I do just kind of draw things. Like, it varies. You'll see it in the current piece that I'm working on, this incomplete, that it depends. I tend to do I won't say I aim for, but I end up doing two sketches not even sketches, two primaries and then line art. And the second primary is practically the line art. It's just that it's in my drafting brush. So
It's
it
more
doesn't work
developed
as
that you
well.
can actually work with.
Yeah, even more so. It's like here's the difference between like my drafting brush has spots where small that down. Has all these spots where it's different weights and whatnot, and the actual line brush is solid. That's about the difference. I just ink it essentially.
So you actually utilize a lot of the pressure points that are used
Yeah.
for your tablets and stuff.
Yeah, it's a Canvas 13 Pro. Despite what Jazza says, it gets very hot. But that's about the only thing that's wrong with it. It also wants only for the sweet release of death. It tries to jump off of its stand at all points. I've seen other artists make stands for it. That's a great idea.
So it's
Other than
suicidal.
that, great, no problems. It just wants to die and will cook you if you touch it.
Gotcha.
No, it really it will get warm, but it's pretty pleasant. And it does. It's Chinese. It's meant to run super hot. Don't worry about it. It doesn't cause any warping issues or anything. I've never had a problem. It's just warm.
Must be
Like an
great
old
in the
CRT.
winter, though, right?
Oh,
Good in the
absolutely.
winter. I feel it on my face right.
That's the radiation.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a little bit of some plutonium isotopes. Don't worry. Do you want to see in the dark or not?
So now that we got the line art and we've got most of the form down, and we get the line art established,
Yeah.
what do you try to tackle next, typically?
So I think what's most important is mentality, where I'm going from this considerable jump to understand what's happening here. It's I'm gonna go, okay, I will draw everything I want to be drawn. And when I do this, I'm going, okay, I want it to look in a finalized form. However, I am not concerned about issues. When I did one stroke, is the line coming out too far? Fuck it, leave it. I'm going to do a line art, and everything that's going to be perfect is going to be on the line art layer. Here is important to do it right, but save time in not spending time fixing things. Fix things for the vision you want, not for the technical, there's a problem here. What's this? Oh, lines. Here's a great one, right? Oh, the hair crosses over in the other lines. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. That's going to get fixed next time. That's the kind of mentality you want in my second primary.
So prioritizing what you know you can fix in a later draft,
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah,
trying
if
to
you know it's
nitpick and
gonna
fix
be-
everything right now.
That's part of my
Yeah,
downfall.
if you know,
though.
just do it right and you won't have this problem, great. That can even happen with shapes. Like, this is pretty imperfect. I think you'll see some things, more or less get corrected.
You can actually see like on the if you zoom in on the left breast
yeah.
where the a little bit down where the cloth
Oh yeah, the
catches
cloth
it. You can see that
texture
there's a
changes.
gap on the previous thing. There's a gap between the actual breast line to where it meets the cloth. You can see that there's a gap, but with the line art, you closed it off.
Yeah, there's a bit of a dip
Yeah,
there.
and one thing that particularly changes is the specific lines I use on bodies, because that's a nebulous shadow that doesn't exist, which is why it's hard to draw illustrated. I think it's easier for people to get into painting than it is for illustration, line art, for that reason, that you're making something that doesn't exist. You're emulating reality, but you're not doing it. And that's the kind of thing where these lines will change dramatically from the from the last primary to the line art layer.
I know
They
that's
will
a problem I typically have when I'm trying to draw. Like, I see the inferences of lines to create shape, and without necessarily having to perfectly line out where the shape is, it utilizes, and you do this perfectly. You infer where the structures and muscles are, the tone and everything.
And the easy answer is that was my first goal. That's all I focused on. So that's all I'm good at, unfortunately. No, that is the way you do it, though, is what you like best you will see, because it's what you do the most and you'll get best at it. I'm glad that the human face is coming up, because that's they are hell for this. Overdrawing a human face is the number one problem artists have, I think, starting off. Where, how do you draw the lips? You don't. You don't draw the lips, and you go, but I want it to look realistic, and I've got lips. You don't draw the lips.
It's
Don't
almost like
draw
you want the
most of
color
the
to portray
nose.
the
It's
lips
not-
rather than the lines.
and it gets a bad rep because you get, nightmare anime side face and other horrible disfigurations that are known for. Like no anime character has a nose, right? And that gives it a bad rep. There is literally no lines to represent the nose. Not something you're gonna do. Not no lines. There are the most minimal lines at the bottom of the nose that represent it.
If
Those are
there's
the only
one
shadows you're gonna
trope-
catch out of it.
If there's one trope that I notice a lot with the artists who don't like portraying noses, but they want to emphasize the nose anyway, is their whole trick is not necessarily to line the nose, but to make the nose a completely different color. So you've got this pale female character that's like maybe 13 years old, and what do? They give her
A
Rudolph the
pale
Red
anime
Nose.
character. Please stop me.
And then they give her Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, big old bright red honker. Like,
God, dude. Or the Tumblr thing where here's my I won't say Steven Universe, but there's my Mystery Skull style character and whatnot with the bright red nose for some reason. Like everyone in Tumblr land has a cold.
yeah.
Fuck. I hate it. Actually, I've become to the point where I go, stop that.
I used to see it all the
Some
time.
It's cold
artists
all
that
the
prefer
time.
doing that. They like
What?
to highlight certain areas of the face that get hit
Yeah.
with warmth. So
Yeah, but they do it in a way that makes them look infected, like they have a cold. You know,
or like
there are better answers. It's like what I said with. I mean, I alluded to, but anime artists, particularly hentai artists, where I make the joke that what was it? We had a lolly. We had someone who was supposed to be like lolly hit D&D, but I drew her icon. And I said, "Yeah, well, I can just draw her lewd. It's okay because." She's pale and it's just going to be a white screen and the whole background's going to be dark. She's just going to be too bright to actually see anything. Because that's basically what you see in a lot of like hentai artists or just anime artists in general is their characters are so goddamn white that it reflects so much light that it may as well be just safe for work because you can't see anything. You might get a hint of like red to show a nipple or something, but God, it's just gonna blind you looking at it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that.
Everything out.
Do you remember?
If that's what you want.
Do you remember in Blade 2, the King of the Vampires, how pale white you could see the thick blue veins underneath his skin and whatnot because he's so translucent? That's when I see white characters. That's kind of the same impression I get.
Yeah.
but in terms of anime, that's also possibly a cultural decision there as well.
100%. But what I always found interesting is that Japanese, if you look at their movie industry and whatnot, tend to be one of the most xenophobic races to get away with it. And yet, what race are anime characters? I mean, yes, they all have to have Japanese names. Hence, you watch the Attack on Titan, right? It could only cast Japanese. The live action could only cast Japanese people, obviously. So you have Levi Vaughn, whatever his name is, the Aryan, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. Mm-hmm. Is now some scrawny, some scrawny Japanese dude. Because God forbid we have a fucking foreigner on our screen. It's weird that to me that anime doesn't just portray Japanese people. It portrays no one, which to be fair, hey, but it definitely only lends itself to pale skin. Unless you look at your Berserks and you have like Casca, who's a great example of a dark-skinned female, mm-hmm. which is I love that killer. It's weird. Fucking Japan, man. It's weird. It's weird on every level. The digger you deep, more layers you find are weird.
I love how you said that.
The digger you deep.
Yeah, the digger you deep.
I love it when dyslexia kicks in.
Yeah, I tried to correct it and went with it.
Yeah, no, you just own it, may as well. A man walked into a bra, a dyslexic man. Yep.
So wait, real quick, yeah. So back to it. Here's examples of drawing. When I went, hey, when I said, hey, don't worry, you're gonna go back and fix it later. Yeah. I went to final line art and look how much the final line art changes from the final,
Yeah, you gave it a little bit more fullness.
You can see how much, or actually I cut down parts and re-added other parts, And that's the kind of thing where you're going, yeah, I'll come back to that. But the next time, I know that the next time I come back to it, it will be where I want it to be. It's close enough that I can just bridge that gap.
Well, that said, this is actually a good segue. Going back to where you want to, we're going to do a quick little break here so that one, you can get some more water since that's definitely important, and two, to give everybody else a little moment to go take care of themselves as well. So we'll give it about 5 minutes. We'll wrap up this picture, and then we will start with the art challenges and having some fun. So,
hey, audience, I understand you've been listening to my voice and whatnot. You got to go have a quick tug job in the corner. That's cool. We'll be right back. You got 5 minutes, but I don't think you need all 5.
So we will be right back. Again, if you'd like to ask questions to SplatterCat, go ahead and send it over in the chat. If you are getting inspired and you feel like being artistic yourself, we're going to have our 2 games here in a minute. We'll go over the rules and the specifics, and dear Lord, help me. I'm going to be participating in the challenges too.
I can't wait.
We're going to have a reprisal of Chungert coming up here soon. So.
Also, if you guys want to submit any of your art, go ahead and there's a link down below the Twitch. We've got a Dropbox where you can put all of that in there.
Mm-hmm. And we will be back in about 5 minutes, so we will see you guys here shortly.
Hello, viewers. Welcome back to Tomorrow's Today, a visual podcast for art, comedy, and experimental fun stuff.
I am the Dux Fox.
And I'm Spyfry.
And today we've been speaking with, and are continuing to speak with, the SplatterCat.
As always.
Absolutely. And this is also just to reprise what exactly we're doing. We're in the middle of
Heavy artillery.
I have way too much fun with that filter right there. Way too much. Uh-huh.
Anyways.
Anyhow, so we just got done speaking about how you develop your line arts and how you start bringing your stuff together, but you wanted to talk about something specific with the piece.
We're going to bring it back to your screen.
We're going to bring it back to your screen. And you were going to talk to us about flat coloring?
Yeah, well, not even flat coloring. That's coloring is a... To all the illustrators out there who want to do your line art and whatnot, I'll let you know that you're not a painter and coloring will be a nightmare. You think... that whole thing where, hey, that orange I picked over here isn't the orange that's showing up on screen is the biggest of your issues. Coloring's a fucking nightmare. It's a different world. Colorist is a job description for a reason. It is. Ugh. So I won't. It's a whole nother thing I won't get into. However, I will say when you do have your 60 plus layers or so, unnamed and unnumbered, because you didn't have time to do all the
Just like
bookkeeping.
mine. We're twinsies.
Yay!
So many unnamed stuff.
Yeah, because then you're doing bookkeeping, right? Like, okay, I know the name of whatever layer I want, but am I going to scroll down here to go blue and pink and no. You're still not going to do all the bookkeeping. It's just going to be too much. At least the way I do things, where everything is a new layer. This button gets spammed the most for a new layer.
Mm-hmm.
And without going too much into it, how do you get to I'm on the white layer and I'm to why can't I mess with the color there? That's weird. Oh, there's a shading light. No? Okay. Well, weird. Yeah, I want to go to the black layer. Oh, because I'm using a pencil, not an eraser. I want to erase on the... I could not figure that out. Yeah, I'm on white layer, and I want to go erase the hair. How do I do it? Well, the hair's somewhere. That kind of looks like hair. I don't know. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
In Sci and most drawing programs, I'm not sure if Photoshop works like this. Holding Control will show you what layer you're highlighting. So you see 35, 15, 19. Clicking on that will snap you to that layer. And you can start drawing it. And you can go back. Another important hotkey when you're doing colors, I want to change that one. Okay, well, increase saturation. Going to go back. I'm going to darken it, Those things, control and click, are how you mitigate all this and save a ton of time for any upcoming artist that wants to get into color.
Would you say that is a feature specifically only to Paint Tool Sci, or...
I am unsure. It tends to be the thing Sci uses in most things like Media Bang, Clip Studios, otherwise, and others. Even Fire Alpaca, but I've never played with that too much. I'm not sure that specific feature does, but I'm sure there is a hotkey to show highlighted layer. What that'll be called, hell if I know. Yeah, that is something to look for in your art. Do you know if Photoshop has anything like that? I'm sure it does, but
I did most of my stuff in Photoshop. I don't remember that being a feature just offhand, but then again, my stuff has mostly been...
I mean,
yeah.
I got to play with Photoshop because Docs had Photoshop from his classes, and I dabbled with it, but then I had to put it down because it's just too costly to keep up with.
Yeah, especially when it's on the cloud stuff.
So we opted for an open source route.
Yeah, that's fair. you know, paying Adobe for their not art program that I don't like very much is a lot more expensive than a tricorn and a eye patch, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So Sail the
Absolutely.
Seven Seas.
Something about
But
like spices, I think.
yeah, I like spices.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, in short, when you start getting, there are small issues. Like I have a bunch of really mixed together, not working very well because of how I messed them up. But you're, you know, if you're doing a lot of masking layers that are like multiply layers that are just simply darker,
Mm-hmm.
but incorporate the color below, that's what a multiply layer is. Great for shading easily.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of things will cover what you're trying to aim for, so you'll have to click it first and then erase. And if you really don't remember which one it is, you know, once you get into shading, you're gonna have an issue of okay, now I can get to layer 15, or you know, I can
Gotcha.
see it's layer 15.
So at this
When
rate
you're
with the image, you're actually starting to put in the shadings. You're starting to understand that you know that this is going to be in the shadows, so you're going to try and
and
diffuse the lighting as much as possible.
and as I said, this was as hard as it could be. So to put this simply, I think what I developed back into after this point, I rejected it. People loved my cell shading, which means no blurry. It is a shape just as solid as that in your shading. People really liked that. It's easier. I'll go back to it. I don't want to be a painter, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the culmination of probably one of the best cell shaded images I've done. So much so you might not even realize how much cell shading it. And it's not truly completely cell shaded, but as you can see here, all of the shadows, for the most part, are solid, and things like lighting are blurry. And I want to bring this up quickly to say how my shading actually works now. You know, an easier way to say it, to do it, is once the image is flatted out, I start going, yeah, this is what it actually looks like. And once this is done and completed, I'm going to go, usually background is not in at this point, but a color of the right value is in the background, like a gray that's in the right value, just to make sure it's, you know, going to be workable.
What drew you to the color choices for this particular image?
This, they were it's a couple things. This is my alchemist character from D&D, so green. I worked with browns a lot more. I do tend to like brown as a color and tans, and you see a lot of it here. But I did a gray rat. That much I knew. I like gray, and green is something I feel is underutilized by everyone. So I love to try and use it. It may look like I enjoy that color, but my favorite color is like, you know, sky blue, like the deep blue, or you know, autumn colors. You know, but I try and use
Definitely
everything.
see a lot
That's the
of autumn
important thing.
colors in here.
I think the way to think about it is I try not to get pinned down by anybody. Like, I don't want someone to pin down what I like. Now, some people will be like, hey, you really use a lot of warm colors. And I go, yeah, I like warm colors. I like cool colors too, but I like warm colors. That's fair. Here, it's very much red is hard to match with green, so I did it. But there isn't enough brown in the image that you can. It created a hard red of the potions and her eyes, makes a nice median visually between brown and stuff, but like I said, colors is a nightmare. And trying to get green and brown and red in the same was fun. I think it came out all right. But at this point, what I did, this is how I shade, which beyond you know, like I said, colors is a nightmare. So just imagine we're doing all black and white, right? And at this point, I go, okay, we're going to do a first shading layer, right? And this is the first shading layer. And this is the primary one. It takes up the most space. I go everywhere I want there to be dark. Typically, this will be a lighter shade than the rest of them. And I'll go, anything I want to be dark will be done here. You know, anywhere there's light, anywhere there's dark. Usually, this will look more like, you know, since this is all gray, it kind of changes things. But usually it'll be very subtle, right? And then I go, okay, here's the crucial part. The next layer was not shading, but this is partially ambient occlusion, but it works in cell shading, right? Where you go, okay, the way to think about it, when you're thinking about this layer, you're thinking of the shape of things, right? Like you got the baseball tits here, you're thinking of a ball,
Curved
right?
lines.
Yeah, curves, how the chin's growing. You're thinking of solid shapes. When you're thinking of your second shading layer, essentially your occlusion layer, it's kind of weird how that works. You're drawing light, but you're drawing it in shadows. That's how art is. Your occlusion layer is going to be your secondary shading, whatever you want to call it, is going to be like, that's actually wrong. This, where you're going, okay, what you want to think is the things least exposed to open air is kind of how you're thinking about this. Where I think at this point I'll make it lighter so you can tell the difference between the two. Yeah. And for this, you're going, okay, things that are, this is, the armpit and everything in here is very deep, so there's going to be a lot of shadows here. You're going to have a lot of shadows here along where there's just not a lot of open space. You're going to add it, and this is depth, right? This is showing how deep these shapes are, because contrast is the most important thing.
It really
Whether
shows
you're doing
how it curves with the body there.
Yeah, it definitely seems to recede inward.
Yeah. Just flash it back and forward here. You see now you can see the difference or what it adds. And that's the thing is when you, in short, the number one thing to think of when shading is the, kind of in life, is contrast. The difference between the light and the dark will make it better. Now you're saying I want a full image, which is actually kind of hard to do, but you want a well-lit room. It's a white box and it's a character. Your shadows will still be extremely dark. They just will be very sparse. They will be things like the armpit and the very tucked in places. That way you have a difference between the lit area and the dark area, so you know that the area is lit. Otherwise you're going to have a unlit image, no matter how bright you make it. That's partially color, that's partially shading, which I consider part of illustration, not painting.
Gotcha. Now, would you say that some people run into the trap where they just utilize shadows too much?
I think I need an example, because what I initially would say is they utilize shadows too much, and they're poor at it.
Right. So
where they shouldn't be using them much. They should be worried about only doing this layer right. They're doing imagine they're doing. Oh, go ahead.
I would actually say yes to that, because you can and ultimately wash out a character if you use too much.
Definitely.
That's
the thing. If you're doing this layer right here wrong, like your shapes aren't right, then don't worry about adding that occlusion layer, because you're not. You can't polish shit. That works for. Honestly, as far as shading goes, it's important to note that goes for illustration too, where if a piece is not working out, I won't say don't waste your time on it. Be ready to not shade it, because you won't fix it in shading. If it does not work, it does not work, and you will be disappointed you spent the time on that.
So I had a friend who, going back to the shadows example I was talking about, he was inspired by the Batman cartoon that came out years ago. The original Batman animated series.
So was I.
Right.
Yeah.
And they saw how they were able to take all these shadows and portray them so much. But the trap that he kept getting led into is that over 80% of his picture was just black. Not shades of black, but black.
That's a perfect example of that sin. It could work for Darkest Dungeons too, where you have a super thick line art that half of the shading is in black lines. Any of those noir, high contrast, otherwise illustrated styles that are super high contrast, you'll have a problem of actually doing it. I wish I might try and pull up, if we have time, I'll try and pull up a silhouette image that I've done, because I think those came out kind of well. All of them I've done with the same character. And that would be an example of kind of this trick, but that might be for a different time, because it might have to do more to do with color than it does values. And it has to do with values. But
so one question I do have based off of what we're looking at with this image and forgive me if I'm being naive or something like that, but like I can tell a lot of the areas where you heavily did the lines in order to create the outline, but I can also see that certain areas will have a higher and thicker border than like other areas. So, for example, your tail has a very, very thick, heavy border all around it, especially near the base. But then when you get to like the thigh, you don't have quite as much of a thick border on that.
Yes.
Is that do you use that mostly like to emphasize the light, or what would you say your reasoning behind that is?
It's interesting because I would like to do that to emphasize my light. I would like tails are just too hard for me to draw because I draw them as one motion for each line, and you can imagine how that's the Control Z spam is how I draw tails. You know, where this is 3 strokes. You know, in the end.
I can see where there's little bits where you can see where the lines are tailing off of each other. Pun intended.
I clearly erased them, you know, like to just cut them off. The things I think the good example is, you know, with the thigh and thick thighs and lives. What I would like to do is, and what I do to a degree is show where light is exposed. The line, the outline will be thinner towards like the top of a curve or something, you know, to represent light. And you can kind of see it here. I didn't go as I should have. Maybe some other images would be better. But, you know, it thins out and you get thicker wherever they meet. And I'd like to show a real easy trick of how I'm doing that is when lines come together, you can assume that those two shapes are coming together. So it's what I said, exposed to open air. So as 2 lines come together, what would be the right thing to do here is I'm just going to highlight black, and you're going to start tapering it so it does that number on both sides, where I'd go like, oh, here, it's going to have a little bit more. And you can do that as long as you like.
And audience, just to let you know, this is the closest you're going to get to second base inside of this show, okay?
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, I forget. Totally desensitized. I'm drawing on tits and mass. My bad.
I thought it was funny. It's like, oh, he's totally getting away with just having a total boob shot right there. But it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's in artistic taste. Okay. It's not for gratification.
We've got
it's okay. We'll look at something more Christian.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
So what you do, what you end up here is that's the kind of line art I work for. The other important note is the differences in line art is where I am emphasizing something more than others. I can't remember. Is this where I did it, or is it my newest drawing, I think, where I went through and said, okay, the lines that are exposed to the background are going to be darker. And I kind of did it here, and everything inside is going to be lighter, and that's just for emphasis. That has nothing to do with the lighting or what I just mentioned.
Right.
It is surely. The other contributing factor to line thickness is material for me. So where I'm going like, okay, the bone is very thin, and anything on her I want to stand out will be darker or thicker lines. The eyelashes are great. You're mostly drawing thick lines here. Wow, I almost did a far left eye like right. Amazing. If you're an artist and this is giving you a nightmare, they heard me complain about it. It is the farthest eye from the camera is the hardest thing, you know.
Well, if I'm going to emphasize one thing, that I learned from you, and I've seen other people do it, but they didn't really express it the same way that you did. You don't just utilize the space and then try to contour your lines to the space of where it is. You actually manipulate the background to conform to your lining.
Yes. I believe I understand what you're saying there, and yeah, I tend to. What I think about first off when I'm lining and when I'm before I'm inking, when I'm doing any of this, when I'm sketching, I'm thinking of a 3-dimensional shape, and then I think of how do those 3-dimensional shapes cover each other up as they move away from the camera. That's important to me, and it's something I enjoy. So that's kind of what you see here. Is I go, okay, the nose is going to come out and cover up these parts. I love how this covers up part of the hair. I love drawing hair to one side for this reason, that it creates a cool, here's a mask, here's another layer, and it's covering up the gun or her bow gun. Those are things I very much enjoy in art.
Yeah. What I was making reference to,
Okay.
not so much the layering stuff, but that you actually, when we look at the canvas itself, it's right side up. It's very strict. But when you're working on your other piece, the piece that you're working on right now on a different window,
Yeah.
you will actually flip the canvas over like 45 degrees and then make the line, and then you'll tilt it another way and then you'll make the line. You will absolutely change the way of the picture is facing. You'll flip it.
I'm working on making these shapes 3-dimensional. I'm trying to refine them so they look like they're floating in space. And
like that.
There I go. I
Yeah.
I can't draw this where I want to, and I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna start rotating. I do wish I had hotkeys for those. I haven't been able to set them up, so I've just done it my whole life of going like, we're gonna go yep. And we're going to start drawing this curve because I want to draw this curve. I don't want to draw. I don't want to try and do it. This. Nope. That's like drawing left-handed for me. It's not gonna fly, right?
Right. So it's like for you. This is gonna be maybe a poor example, but one that I can try and describe. If you've ever seen Rurouni Kenshin, how he has his backwards sword, right? He can only make cuts in one direction, but that plays to his favor, right? So in order to not kill people, to keep to his oath, he keeps the blade towards him as opposed to outward. But if he needs to defend himself to a point where he has to kill, he can stroke it in such a way to cause that damage.
Very interesting. I am aware of it because of some reviews of the idea of the reverse katana. I'm not some weeaboo, but I do know much about that. For some, the character specifically. Yeah. Really
so you kind of practice that with the way that you draw.
Right. And for me, it'd be like going into Photoshop and not being able to canvas. That's what he did, where his technique was so perfect that they made sure he couldn't execute it, so they turned his blade around, so he couldn't use his forbidden knowledge. That's me. Like, oh, I can't rotate the canvas. I'll have to learn to without my forbidden knowledge of spinning the canvas and drawing upside down. And you may find that when you stop and you come out and you go, yeah, that line's perfect, and you back out and you zoom out and it's awful because you were drawing it at a 45-degree angle. Don't worry about it. Fix it in the next layer. It's easier. Often, I like to fix it in the next layer rather than, if I can, I like fixing in the next layer rather than on the spot.
All right.
Sometimes I'll make separate layers just for a few lines.
Oh yeah.
Just so that I'm not ruining what's already been done, and then I can feel more comfortable without having to Control Z.
it can't be seen because I merged all the layers, but her equipment here that was added, these spikes and pendulums or whatever, pendulums, those were all done on different layers, then merged. Well, no, they're still on a different. Well, part of them are still on a different layer. Oh yeah, no, there we go. Yeah, they're still floating around.
Oh, cool.
And that's the kind of thing where it goes, okay, I'm going to overlap on my primaries. I'm going to sloppily, erase where I do once I'm done tracing in the sort of thing. And that means that all of these are examples of how I would draw something the very first time. Now, actually, this is Control C, Control V spam, and using the free to form tool to change the perspective. So I didn't exactly go through drawing every one of these, to be fair. Those are important,
Gotcha. Well, we've talked a lot about the way that you construct it. I think we've learned a lot, especially for those who are trying to get better at line art, shading, and all that. We've really highlighted on a lot of... I know that Fleety gave a lot of his perspective on doing that, but I think we went a layer bit deeper, or however you want to say it, on how to actually emphasize those lines and how to make those different contrasts.
Yes.
That said, I think it's time now to kind of throw away the script, as it were, and I think it's time now to start bringing in the competition. So what we're going to do is, if you want to see about creating a new layer for yourself, like an entirely new image, we're going to start things off the way we always start off, and we're going to see about doing the 10 minute, 1 minute, 10-second challenge. This is a challenge that many artists do as a fun time, just to try and exercise constructing something and then being able to water it down. Every artist I know finds it very painful, but also enjoys it after seeing just how silly and how contrived it can become. So
It's
what
like
we're
anal.
gonna exactly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with Spirey and SplatterCat, trying to portray the same artist. Now, I know I said I was going to be involved, but I'm going to do the harder part and really screw myself up with what the second game is going to be.
Okay. Oh, and a hold on that thought.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you wanted to talk about equipment.
Yes.
SplatterCat. So what we could do is we'll play our games, and then we can touch back on that at the end if you'd like.
All right.
Yeah, I'll while you're creating the art, I'll harp you about the equipment that you use. We've touched a little bit on it. You said that you're using an actual large screen tablet.
Yes, a particularly good one I'd recommend. Definitely don't recommend Wacom products anymore, despite this being my first non-Wacom product.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that great. I always used Wacom. Boy, just dump them. They got fat, you know. That they were at the top. It was like Photoshop. No one else was going to compete with them for a while. Now the Chinese have XP Pen, which I've heard is good. Canvas is great. All these options
Gotcha.
are probably better. I bought this for the same price as my Intuos Pro tablet. You know,
Intuos.
The tablet that sits on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had that for years. Wanted to replace it. Found out the canvas cost about the same, about $360, and I went, well, what are you gonna do? You know.
All right. Well, for this challenge, let's see about getting yourself a new scene. It doesn't matter really what the size is if you just want to keep it as a square, but you're going to need 3 layers. Okay. Your first layer is going to be the 10-minute layer. Your second layer is going to be the 1-minute layer, and the third layer is going to be the 10-second layer. The whole concept is that for the first 10 minutes, you're going to sketch out, line out, and get as much detail as you can inside of the subject, which I'm going to create here in just a minute. The 1-minute challenge is being able to take all the elements that you just did, water it down to its base elements, and then still portray the figure. And then the 10-second part is where you're going to take every specific moment on the subject and then just portray it as quickly as possible while still retaining some of the form. This is how Chongert the Dim was created and will ever be cherished as a result of, and that's my creation, my bleh of it. So, Spirey's going to be restarting your computer real quick. We'll get started. I'm going to go through a couple of design ideas. We'll see what you think about it. Nah, that doesn't sound good. Let's try again.
Catching a little. I think it was just that I was catching a bit of lag in my screen. I noticed. Yeah, it just had to do with having. I think I had the stream open 3 times. And that probably because I had the Discord screen open as well, displaying for me, and trying to display your own monitor 3 times.
Yeah, that
is
tends
not
to.
computers like.
Yeah, that
Even
tends to
with
tax
16
it.
gigs of RAM or more, you know, it's like it doesn't want to.
Oh, no, starting with the Chongert. It's with an O, Chongert. Chongurt.
Yo, neat bit of trivia. That's why, for a long time, video games didn't have reflections, or when they did, it was a big deal in a mirror. You know, because the mirror had to be the same exact image. It had to be a mirrored, character in the 3D space on the other side that you were looking at.
Yeah.
So everything had to be doubled, and it hated that, obviously.
And then Portal came out and made it look like easy.
Then Portal made it easy.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, that was based around the fact they found a neat trick, and we're like, hey, we could make a game out of this neat trick.
So, I have our subject. So the subject that we have that both of you are going to draw, and we're just letting Spirey get her her
Sorry,
board all set up.
I know. I'm holding it.
It's okay. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. So your subject today that you're going to be drawing for the 10-minute, 1 minute, 10-second challenge is a sad mouse that wears eyeliner with a bloody knife. Yep.
Why a mouse? That's hard.
That's just, it's a random generator. It just happens to be one of the factors into it.
Okay,
But
okay.
if you want to write this down, I know that Spyree's doing it. It's a sad mouse, wears eyeliner.
Oh, I thought you said armor.
No. Eyeliner.
Okay.
Wears eyeliner. And has a bloody knife. That is what your 10-minute, 1 minute, 10-second challenge is going to do. Now, the rule is the way that I do this is I give you 2 minutes to do some little sketch layers. And then from the 10-minute point on, it is lines only, no sketch, just full-on line art as best as you can, and then adding detail as you go along. I'll give you little updates every 2 minutes, or try to, while I still try to talk about the process and what I'm observing. And then at the end of it, right as we start getting into the 1 minute, I will let you know when we're all done, okay? So, let me get my stopwatch here ready. And we will see about getting the challenge underway. Here we go, timer. So we're going to start off with 2 minutes. On your mark, get set, 2 minute draw, go. This is for you to get your framework, your basic design.
Right. I'm just putting on Hawthorne Heights, Ohio's for Lovers to get me in the mood.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Just no heavy lines at this point. Just use, basic rough
If I'm
shapes
laughing,
and everything.
that's why.
It's all good.
Sorry. So no heavy lines, huh?
No heavy lines. This is just structural. This way you have a design in mind. You can start working off it when you start putting your heavy lines down. This is your 10 seconds over 2 minutes. That's what this is. Once again, for those at home. Also, for those at home that are watching the show, if you'd like to participate and see about doing it right now, you got 1 minute and 16 seconds to see about making your own mouse with eyeliner, a sad mouse with eyeliner, and a bloody knife. If you want to submit your art, down below the Twitch channel here, you will see our Dropbox, and we would love to get your submissions if you have that. One day, when we get enough submissions, we'll see about doing a show entirely on fan art and what you guys have created, along with our shitty stuff that we do, like especially from my end. And we're going to get my shitty stuff here coming in soon. Speaking of shitty, you got 45 seconds left. Isn't that shitty? So yes, by all means, if you have art that you want to portray or pitch into, drop it on over in the Dropbox. If you want to see about joining up with the Tomorrow's Today show on Discord, you can also find a link down below in order to join it. You'll find that also in the YouTube. If once this gets uploaded, you'll find several different links. And yeah, you now have about 12 seconds before you have to get started. Rainiel says, Docs and I should do a shitty art show. Yes, absolutely. Me and you. We should totally do it. We could see who sucks worse at art. And 10 minutes now. 10 minutes begins. Go.
Oh, crap.
10 minutes begins.
Black my eyes.
Heavy lines now.
I'm glad there's no face cam right now, because I'd be, headbanging to some really bad music.
Yeah, I mean, we could arrange it if you wanted to have your head face cam, but I can make it work. There's no doubt about that.
You want to see me, what was it? I remember when I would do streams on my own, and to the few people who were watching, having, I think I was listening to, Sabaton, right? And just a song just hits me just right, and I nearly break my nose/neck on the table, just thrashing, That's how I am,
Well, hey, I've got a bunch of listeners here who said that they would love to take part in the Sucky Art Challenge, so I guess I have lots of competition.
It's interesting. I was actually able to do pretty well through the music. Oddly enough, it kind of made a rhythm I liked. Maybe it was just the amount of noise. I think I might do it again, just to get back into it. I did want to say, as you can see here, I drew a nose, and then went, okay, that's the angle, and literally everything just followed that. You know, I went, okay, here's the angle I'm at. Boom, everything face. Let's go.
Well, hey,
And
I
don't
mean,
be wrong,
we're doing the line out right now. Your time is ticking, so
cool. Well,
we're on the heavy.
no problem. I'll just skip the thing altogether.
There you go. I mean, you're welcome to talk about it. I just wanted to make sure that you realized that the time was actually going. That's all.
Dude, yeah. Just it's funny for drawing so many anthropomorphs. I always forget ears and tails. And I guess it's a mouse, so
It is a mouse, yes. Very much.
Ballish on the.
Wolfsinger says I would win at the sucky art. Nev says I would join that. LOL. No high expectations. And my buddy Rainiel says, "Man, I'll take that bet. I screw up stick figures." I said it in the last stream.
Dog, I want to hear some shit talk. I want to hear some where are you going to be at Super Slam? Except Super Slam is shitty art. Where are you going to be at shitty art mania?
Is that we're gonna have to have like a 4-way shitty art contest?
Yeah, no, it sounds great. Like I want to hear your dude, bro. They could hang you up in the in me. I'm not even good enough for the trash can. You ain't got a chance.
Man, when the rats chew on my shit, they're gonna spit it out. Not because it's disgusting, but because they really can't digest it.
Brother, people could tell what you were drawing. I mess up the stick figures.
Yeah. I'd win at the sucky art.
Da, 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 da. Just everyone's intro too. Oh yeah.
Goodness, I have that too.
Make a what are they called? Hype reel.
Yeah, the hype reel. Yeah. We could do that. I'm sure. We're currently at the 8-minute mark. 8 minutes. Remember, it's a mouse.
I'm just going to imply things to save time.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Look, you don't need to do here, kids. Spoilers. You don't need to do all that. You don't need to figure out a jawline. It's just there.
But just remember,
it does look like a Warriors cat character or OC right now.
A bit. It's a sad mouse with eyeliner and a bloody knife.
Oh, the eyeliners will come. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got to be. Well, when I said sad, I immediately thought he.
Oh no, I get you. I only emphasize that because for the audience,
and
I know we got kind of an tangent.
Yeah. It's got a knife. Didn't say where the knife has to be, does it?
No, doesn't say where the knife has to be. Just that it's bloody.
Oh, that's perfect because it's got its heart on its sleeve. It's got its heart on its sleeve.
Is that its tattoo?
Here we go. Going way back. You remember this from 2008, 2004. Yeah, got your. We could live like Jack and Sally if you want. But you can always find me. Can you tell I have an aesthetic I really love knocking on? I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy the hell out of it. But
and this whole time, Spirey is just really focused on trying to get the. She's got a plan. I can see it on her. I can see the plan on her face.
I actually didn't go for an anthro. I went for Warriors OC, like I said. Which, hey, I mean, that's actually what happened. I shouldn't say what I went for. I drew a nose. That was the one thought, right? That was the one thought-driven thing I've done so far. I might do another layer. Well, wait, can I do another layer to correct this, or do I have to just draw?
No, just got to be all in one layer.
Okay.
Control-Z is your friend in this case. That's it.
Oh, I really want to draw Chris. We'll see how much time I have.
Well, we are at the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, we'll see how much time I have coming back to it.
That's fine.
Because it's just an... kind of want to...
It seems like you have freaked out Rainiel a little bit. He says, "Oh God."
So I can't fall asleep tonight, because you kill me.
I can just imagine that my sister was probably listening to that. She loved listening to Blink 182 and all that stuff.
Hello there. We got a thing in our shop, right? We're all super young adults and whatnot, and grew up in that era. So whenever So almost daily, I will say that that plays. Rather like that one, the Blink 182. And we all sing. It's as bad as Bohemian Rhapsody, where we're just hello there, angel from a nightmare. Yeah, it's shadow in the background of a morgue. And this thing, Blink 182 isn't even an emo band, but that song is just
No, what does it for me when I start hearing that stuff? I just can't help but hear, "How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes. I have nowhere to run." It was like, oh.
If that's where your mind goes, please check out. You in this direction. It's the.
Oh, I think you got cut off in there. Please check out what now?
Oh, Hawthorne Heights.
Hawthorne
Ohio
Heights
is for lovers.
Oh gosh.
Because my girl's in Ohio, so cut my wrists and black my eyes.
I'll tell you what. If I really need to get myself to throw up, I'll take you up on that and I'll listen to Hawthorne Heights. Like if I'm really having a bad day of trying to digest something, I'll take you up on that advice.
Yeah, there we go. Tonight.
Oh god. Like I can feel the ASMR cringe in the back of my neck just from parts of it.
You kill me well. You like it too, and I can tell.
We're at the 4-minute mark now.
We'll probably wrap this up then. No, we need an actual shoulder. But we're gonna cut the shoulder down. Oh yeah, just so I check the check boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to forget about the primary elements. Wow, that's. Are you going for mascara or are you going for drag? I mean.
Oh shit, dude! We'll do a little bit back here. That ain't true. Well, no, I mean I haven't actually applied.
So you're gonna give the mouse a cat's eye?
Yeah. Is that what that's called?
When they have the little streak that goes up, it curves their eye upward, so that their the tear duct brings it downward. That's where they get the cat's eye.
Oh, it wouldn't be a Warriors ripoff OC if it doesn't have tears.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And we're gonna do a bit of.
Well, I'll say this much: you both have the teary mascara going through, so that's working out.
Oh yeah, you can't draw sad and mascara without.
Exactly. You got to have some sort of that's what portrays the sadness, which is one of the requirements of the thing too.
You gotta understand. Brett just cheated on Becky, and now she's kicking her guts out in the bathroom.
Oh my god, she totally is being bulimic right now because she had like a peanut butter sandwich, and now it's like peanut butter crunch.
And her friend's holding her hair, Because
she's like so sad she can't even carry her head up.
Drinking as soon as Brett went to the party with Becca. Yep, here we go.
Well, we are at the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, we got time for it, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, God. What have I actually gotten myself into? Chris is the serpentine style of blade.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of how I draw my primaries, by the way. If you're wondering how I jump from next, you've actually seen a pretty good example.
Hey, it's whatever makes sense for you. It's your method of how you do stuff is not going to be the same method as like how Spyro does it, which is not going to be the same method as Fleety. But they're all good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is if you need another perspective, because I think you're not going to see many other people do basically what I'm doing here, where I'm going, hey, I'm actually weighing in my head how easy this to fix if I just erase straight through it. And that kind of thing here where I'm going like, oh yeah, well I need to change the shape of this. Well, can I fix the other things? Yeah, that'll be easy. We'll just do that.
Well, I don't mean to cause alarm, but you are both at the last 60 seconds now.
Oh no, the bevel won't follow the...
It's a sad mouse with heavy mascara and a bloody knife.
I think it... Yeah,
we're at the 40-second mark.
They're a bit too. Could draw a paw, but fuck that's. Oh well, no! Hold on, we got a paw.
We're at 30 seconds.
Yeah, there we go. Can I draw? Yes, queen.
Yes, queen. Slay. 20 seconds.
Oh, that's 10 seconds. Shit, I got.
No, 20. Although, now that we've talked about it, now it's 10 seconds. 9, 8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time! All right. Let's
Damn,
see
I did
what we
it.
got. Well, first, let's go look at our guest, because that's the appropriate thing to do. And we have ourselves, well, I don't know, the mouse is definitely looking a little cattish to me.
No, that muzzle's way too long and narrow.
The ear definitely looks like a mouse.
The ear looks like a mouse. I can't argue
what about
that,
the
but I'm
muzzle,
just saying the
though? I
muzzle
focused on
itself
the
gives it a
muzzle.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
The
soft
hair is probably rounding out the face a little.
and short muzzle.
But you do got
That's
the emo
something to
haircut,
swear
so I
away
give you
later.
props for that one. That's for sure.
I've never drawn that haircut in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
And then we've got
Yeah. Those are things you'd fix in post.
Indeed.
Like later on.
Indeed. And then we do have the bleeding mascara, which is really a really nice touch. You definitely put a lot of, even though it took you a short while to do that, you definitely put a lot of detail into it. So that's there. Switching up the knife to a Chris and then making it a bloody knife in that way, that was definitely a unique way of changing up the style that you were going for. But it's definitely a daring move, and it paid off in the long run. So
Straight to the heart.
Yeah,
The
the
only-
hard thing was, being emo, that's a great example of what I was talking about, doodles. Anyone could have done that. Come on. It works for the aesthetic. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
And now we're going to look over at Spirey and what she's done. And if you have your version of seeing the screen up, we can set that up. But let's go have a look at the Spy. What do we got for Spy? Wow. Look at this. And it's definitely in the comic style that you've been working on, too. It's a lot more straight lines, a little bit less curved lines.
Not as much definition.
Not as
I was
enough.
going to say,
yeah.
with your Be Right Back screen, to Be Right Back,
The line art?
something about the shapes and whatnot. Yeah, especially on the female one, just...
Oh, that's her.
I love it so much. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
know, it's her. I fucking adore it so hard. I just don't know what. And the problem is I can't vocalize about the new style.
It's okay. You can be honest. It's a bust. I know it.
How the tits stand out, though, because to make me pay attention. As
See,
I
honey,
said,
your
I
tits stand
ran
out.
out of a while and didn't give a shit, right? It's hard to make me notice. Be like, wow, that's a great set of tits.
I know.
You know you won now. I mean, basically my job is to, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So with Spirey, we've
Yeah.
got, looks like we've got what would you call that? Would that be like not? It's not butcher's knife for sure. It's more like a Bowie knife.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a nice blood
Buck
to it.
knife.
We definitely have the mascara that's bleeding on there. To me, it looks, you did a really good job keeping the principle of what's going on, but it's so simplistic.
Yeah. That's what's actually great with her is my line art may have been simplistic and whatnot, but I don't think the shapes I was portraying, the style I was portraying was simplistic at all, and I love what she's done here with that.
One prop I do have to do too is that she filled out the character. She got all the points that she needed for reference, and like having seen her doing this challenge quite a few times, this is like the best progress she's done in all of it. So I'm really impressed that she was able to finish it. She really did make use of her time, and she finished the concept that she was wanting to portray.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
feel like he's got more of a story than the last couple characters that we've done.
For sure. And you even got some of the detail in the hand to show how it folds up. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it. I really do
Yeah.
like it. It's really, really well done. Now,
So my 30-second hands, you know.
now you guys
go
get
ahead.
to screw all of that up because both of you have to now do all of that in 1 minute. So
This
let's
is cheating if I'm
Well, I was gonna say what you need to do now is shrink that image down a little bit and move it off to the side, and then change the opacity down to like 20%. Because we're gonna work on a new layer.
I do want to save it for this one's for later.
Yeah, by all means. In the meantime, as I said earlier, for those who are watching, if you'd like to see about participating, we're going to be starting up on the second layer here for 1 minute. If you have fan art that you want to do, or if something that we said, something that we did, something that happened inspired you to make your own little fan art, maybe there was an off comment that you wanted to personify, stick it in the Dropbox. We want to see it. We want to make a whole
Yeah.
show that's dedicated to your art.
If you have some Warriors, Rat, Murder, Impreg fan art that you want to draw or send in, go right ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Send it in. We want to see it.
I want to die.
If I can make Chongert and be proud of it, you can make something like a stick figure and submit it as fan art, and we will still show it off and be proud of what you did. You don't have to be proud of it, but we'll be proud of it for you, okay? All right. So we are now going to get to the 1 minute challenge. We're going to water down all the base elements of what you did and do it all in 1 minute. No sketch, no pre-ramp, purely 1 minute. And that minute is going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin!
Perfect. Found the right color right at the moment. Okay. You said 10 minute?
No,
1 minute.
1 minute.
Now you're at
That
50
worked
seconds.
Really quick. Oh, this is not going to be pretty.
It's not meant to be pretty. You just want to take the elements that you made, 40 seconds, and then try to portray it as quickly as possible.
Program Y.
You are now at 30 seconds.
So anxiety-inducing.
It is. It's very anxiety-inducing. 20 seconds. Like I said, just highlight the
On
major
surface,
forms.
It looks calm spaghetti.
There you go.
To drop bombs, spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
It
10
It's
seconds.
dope. Buddy, keep on forgetting.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's time.
It's terrible.
Boy,
Yeah. Well, let's see how you
maybe
guys
a bit
did.
calm and ready, but it wasn't.
Let's see how you guys did. Let's have a look at. Let's have a look over at SplatterCat since he's the guest.
I like the comment. The stitches on the heart. Yeah, you think I'd forget? Not today.
Well, let's see. We definitely have the eye. We have the
Yeah.
mascara. Looks like the ear and the whole concept of it being a mouse is kind of fade away. But you got the knife.
That nose is really. That mouth is so mouse-like. Well, it's rat-like. I'll be honest. I'm drawing a rat.
That's an
Spoiler alert.
angry rat.
That's
Is that a brow?
No, this is what I can
Oh,
see
wait,
the
no, that's
muzzle
the
line and
mascara.
everything. If I were to,
that was that was supposed to be the
The
mascara.
chin, yeah. It's here.
It
Oh
did
yeah,
turn
I
out-
started to draw the I started to draw the tears of mascara as soon as he said one. And no,
Well,
maybe that
considering
wasn't a
you
great idea
you
to
didn't get
highlight.
started until 10 seconds after it started.
Yeah, I was bullshitting around.
But I mean,
all right, cool.
you did recover. You
So
did
got the
recover.
angular, spear-like nose. I think that's enough mouse or rat. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what a mouse looks like. I'll be honest.
To me, it looks
draw a rat.
it looks puppy-like, like a dog.
Interesting.
I get a
Okay.
bit of a puppy feel to it,
Well, because
like it was a King
typically
St. Charles.
the thing that's most rat-like or mouse-like is
Mm-hmm.
how far, like, down the mouth is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like their jaw is in here somewhere. If you were to anatomy it out,
Right.
well, cheating. We're not cheating.
Nimue apparently agrees with me. She also sees a dog, so I'm not
Okay,
crazy.
cool. Because I don't know how to draw dogs.
Well, let's take
No
a look at
one's asking
Spirey.
you
What do we
for
got
it.
for Spirey? Spirey.
Go.
Oof.
This is what happens. You get this mouse happened to the last figure too.
Thanos. For
Thanos snapped his finger and half of
Yep.
him has gone away.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard.
Well, I think we both drew about 50 or 30% of our of the previous. Which is pretty good when you do it math-wise, right? 1 minute versus 10 minutes. That's 30% preserved. Hey,
For the most part, yeah. Well, let's see how much you can preserve in 10 seconds. Let's get your third layer started.
we're not saving this one.
Nope, you don't need to save it. That's fine. Let's go back here.
Water.
Oh, you know what? Oh, that was the chat thing. That's right. Oh, you're drinking your water. That's fine. Oh, you don't want to have to completely delete it. You want to keep it, but yeah, just put it off to the
No,
side.
I'm not gonna save it. I'm not gonna gain anything from. Oh wait, dude, it's just for display purposes.
Yeah, it's for display purposes.
I'm not
That's to say. You don't need to save it for you to keep and then cherish for the rest of your life or anything. Just for the
I
demonstration.
like the
of
first one.
challenge.
Some of my favorite drawings I've done were like 40-minute things I sat down and did, and I thought they came out really well for that.
Well, I promise you, the next challenge will give you the adequate time that you deserve and need.
Deserve, huh? Thanks.
Okay, now we're on the third layer. Let's make sure that we got our third layer going, because you got 10 seconds, and I'm going to give you a 5-second countdown of when you're going to start. That countdown is going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're done.
Oh, no fair.
Put it down.
It's too hard. That's cheating. I got the knife and eyeliner.
Okay, well, we'll go to Spirey first.
Go ahead,
Spirey
go ahead.
was able to get the knife down, got the mascara down,
Dang,
got sort of
I
a
got blown
figure
away.
of the ear. The only thing
Bro,
that
I'm like-
really disappeared
I'm
is the
dark.
left arm and the left rib cage. But it's there.
I'm like avant-garde compared to this. Yeah,
That's
because
okay.
I'm not there.
And let's have a look at
is-
SplatterCat.
It is for you to interpret.
That is a hieroglyph right there, okay?
Looks like a winky.
Yeah, it
face.
is. I got the eyeliner. I got the knife.
It's winking.
I didn't get a sad face, unfortunately.
I'm getting a vibe like
Here's
the
the eye.
leftmost part is
the
like a
nose.
weird monkey mouth, and then you can see the top of like a monkey's
Yeah.
bald head with a
Yeah.
bit of an ear. Like, what the fuck?
Like, here's the thing. You gave me like 20 more seconds. I could finish this, but
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
yeah, but that's the point.
That's absolutely the point. It's just to see how screwed up it can get from trying to water it completely down. That's why I was like, when I knew I was going to do Chungert, I was like, I do not want to put too much detail into this because I know I'm not going to be able to get all of those details when it comes to watering down. What happened when I did mine, it turned into a chocobo riding a stick.
If I was smart, I would have drawn my knife like that, because that's what it was. There, look, that's a way better knife.
Right, but you
Chris,
did that
you know?
without the pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay, well, that was something.
Pressure pushing down on me.
But yeah,
pushing
this
down.
turned out pretty good. Let's take a look at the side comparisons of all of your drawings put together. Spirey's got hers all lined up, so you can see the
No,
10
fuck
minute,
that.
1 minute, and 10 seconds.
Honestly, that 1 minute isn't that bad. We did it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely
Actually,
portrayed
the
a
mouth
lot.
is way more rat-like than. Hey, it's because the chin's there.
It looks like the knife decided
I was
to.
Yeah.
If the knife were to be something more phallic, it looks like he got interested in the middle of the picture and then just kind of like.
You'd have, what was it? The chest would be like here in the shot. Like this is way lower angle, right?
Mhm.
So you have like the chest coming around here, and you'd have like and stuff. Wow, that's Eggman. Okay, but the chest would be right here, and it would actually be way lower angle. There we go.
I don't know if you see it. The eyeliner actually looks like a brow to me, just from that perspective.
Yeah, it looks like he's kind of winking, or
Yeah,
it's like an
hold on.
eyebrow that's kind of like
I'm trying
concerned.
to. Oh, the layer's not working. Hold
You
on.
said what about my mama?
Like your
Wait,
eye.
on hers?
On
Yeah.
yours.
Oh, on mine.
She's demonstrating on her side though. She's
It looks like
Yeah.
it could be like this.
Because I drew the cheek. No, because I put that one mark in there at
Yeah,
1 second, trying to
so-
be masked.
Instead of the
Yeah.
eye being here, it's right there for
Oh
me.
my god, how do you draw circles that good? I hate you so much. Dog. For everything I can do, I cannot draw circles I can't draw eyes like that. I kind of just did, but you notice what isn't in the eye? Pupils.
well, it's time
That's
for the
why I
big
like rats,
surprise, and the big surprise for mainly just the audience is that well, we have a nice little thing of having the two screens right here and the chat over there. We decided we push the limits and do a tri-screen.
Woohoo!
So we have 3 screens now. SplatterCat is in the top left corner, Spirey is in the bottom left corner, and then I am in the top right corner. Holy shit.
Would you say that we're crossing the streams?
We are definitely crossing the streams, and it's not in a
Is it-
urinal.
Or Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
I was going for Ghostbusters, but hey, cross the streams in the urinals. That's cool.
Indeed.
That's how you know. That's a power move.
But this lets you know that, things are getting serious now because I have to get involved, and I am not proud of what's going to happen.
I don't know if I have that file yet. Oh.
Yeah, you do. I sent. There you go. Yeah,
I
you just
just-
need to enter it. So I sent to you in Discord a mail reference. If you would like
bastard.
to make
Make me
a
draw
new
nails.
image and then take that. Yep. Well, that was the whole point. It's like I knew you liked drawing females.
Yeah.
I suck at everything, so it doesn't matter to me. And then Spirey, she can do males, but she can also do. Well, no, I shouldn't say it that way. That's too suggestive. She can illustrate and draw males about as well as she can do females.
Yeah, which is interesting. I mean, I drew a man once. See?
Yeah.
No, I did it once. You said I couldn't.
So what we're going to do now is we're
right.
going to do what we did with Fleety, and we're going to design an outfit for each person. And the whole trick is last time they both went off of the same information. Well, this time we're going to have 3 different figures. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create 3.
He's missing part of his foot there.
Yeah, just a little bit, but that's okay. You just need enough to show what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to... I'm going to create 3 characters from the character challenge here and their features. And then the guest will be able to pick first. Spirey will pick in the middle, and then I get sloppy leftovers of both of you.
So I blew up the image here, as you can see, and you just get bulge right in your face.
Yep.
Amazing. All right, here we go.
Indeed.
This guy has
Intentional.
flamingo legs. He's a stork.
I'm sorry, I can't stare at white like that if you haven't noticed. So I'm going to...
It's okay. No, by all means, change the image and color, whatever you need to do. Whatever's comfy. I'm just...
There we go.
To me, like I said, it doesn't matter to me because I suck at everything. So, let's see. Am I on a brush tool? There we go. I don't know how
That's
well
just
this
a
is going to
happy
work
accident.
out. Whoa, that's not what I wanted.
Bob
Whoa.
Ross it, right? Everything you're doing is a happy accident. You're just a walking happy accident.
True.
See? And you just need a friend. Everybody needs a friend.
I'm going to need more than just friends. I'm going to need, like... I'm going to need some major...
Oh, sometimes old gods abandoned you, but that's okay.
There we go.
You still got me.
There's my lines. Okay, cool. Got it. All right, So I'm using an art program that I really don't have any practice with, and I am going to be drawing on the surface that I bought for my wife. And we're all going to get 3 different subjects. They're not all going to be the same. They're going to be 3 different ones. I'm going to draw those, or I'm going to create those 3 figures now. Excuse me. I'm going to write it in the Discord. Excuse me.
A surprise for our guests, or are you gonna let them know what?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to write them in the Twitch chat so that I can read them, so I don't forget them, because I do have a tendency of forgetting them. So I'm going to write up the first one. Oh God. Okay, give me a second. If you want to fill the time while I write these down, could you talk to SplatterCat for a minute while I generate these?
Let's see. I think I had a couple more questions.
Don't speak. Anyways, yeah? Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Oh, I'm back, sorry.
Pull up my notes. Well, I mean, since we've got a little bit of time, did you want to discuss a little bit more about your equipment? You mentioned a program called Design Doll.
Yes, good point. I could pop it up, but it might take longer to just open it. Design Doll is a 3D...
We can pull it up in a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe I'll just... Well, I shouldn't just have it open. It would take up a lot of memory. Design Doll is a 3-dimensional mannequin for posing. It can incorporate lighting, but it is a matte thing. It's everything you'd want. You can control portions and sizes, and even to a degree, you can control shapes of different limbs and torsos and everything. You know, enough to make a female a man. What you want and what you can do. You can go a long ways. It doesn't make your character for you. It just shows them in the space if you can interpret it. You know, kind of the way I drew a nose and then just drew the face. I need an object in the space already to follow with that. When I did the rat, you know, it was nose and then now I know the and for that, Design Doll being like a vague shape in the space, all I need. Saves me so much time sketching poses to start off with. I spend a lot of time posing it, obviously, but to just go off of that, I can draw one object out of it and just go from there for my primary. amazing tool. Its shortcomings, the faces are limited. I almost see it to a small degree pointless to edit the face shape, the head shape, because the head shape does change a lot, but your control over it. If you're going for, hey, I want this kind of jawline and stuff, fuck it. You're not going to figure it. I'll show why that is in a bit, and why it can have a learning curve to shaping the doll in general, the mannequin in general. But the lighting effects are, well, I don't use them, but I should, because I don't tend to do highlights ever. And it does a good job of showing highlights on its mannequin. Now, if you can translate that into your actual drawing, you'll be golden. But I don't get any brushes for highlights in the first place, so.
All right. I have our subjects. So, SplatterCat, with you being the guest, you get full range of these different selections. I went through 5 and decided to discount 2 of them because I knew if I was going to have problems with it, you guys would probably have problems too. And it's kind of redundant to have a homeless person who lives under a house wearing a dragon costume. So
I'm
we're not going
not
to do
doing M-Preg.
No. So oh, you're finally reading it. Okay. So we have a pregnant man from the future with an evil aura. We have a barista with playing cards with a mustache. And we have an orcish wizard who's also a knight that walks with a cane. So, of those 3, which would you like to portray?
Isn't the pregnant man from the future with an evil aura just Arnold Schwarzenegger?
You could definitely go that.
Like you just took the Mars movie.
You're talking about the movie Junior, right?
No.
Yeah, and Junior.
Junior,
You took both of those. Like you just took a few of his films. Weird. Anyways, oh no, I'm not doing. No, I'll do the orc.
You'll do the survivor, the orcish wizard,
Oh,
who is also a knight.
Based on this model, no, I'm gonna go with the barista. I think I can do it.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna go with the barista, with playing with cards with a mustache. All right, Spy.
And
Do you want the pregnant man from the future with an evil aura, or do you want the orcish wizard who is also a knight that walks with a cane?
I think I'll take the pregnant man.
You're gonna take the pregnant man from the future with an evil aura? Okay.
I'm scared.
Not as scared as I am, where I'm gonna have to do an orcish wizard who is also a knight that walks with a cane. But I mean, it is what it is then. So, I guess I'm gonna go write this down so that I know what I'm working with here. So
Did I
Me
just
too.
Google the word hipster and find my barista with a mustache? I think
it's
I did.
possible.
I said, hold on, I have to Google hipster real quick to get a face reference. And I found it. Is that young Jeff Goldblum as a hipster with a mustache? He's got suspenders, a gray shirt, mustache that looks like it. Hold on, guys, I want you to see this here. Drop this down here. Hey, Jeff Goldblum.
Kind of.
I'm here to make your coffee, ironically.
He's lacking the depth of the jaw, though.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Goodness.
Gosh, he was in near the exact pose as the mannequin right now.
Just about, yeah.
Well, yeah. Wow, that's almost enough to encourage me to ever search for images.
God, this is.
But I won't.
All right. Let's see. I wonder what happens if I try to disconnect them. Well, no, I probably shouldn't do that. Or wait, you know what I should do? I just had an idea.
I'm just gonna steal the jawline from that mannequin because it's his is a bit wider. He's got like a Chad chin.
Oh, I see what's going on. I gotta close some stuff here real quick. Yeah.
Are you gonna let us sketch first and then refine, or
Nope.
what are we doing?
It's gonna be straight up drawing, straight into line work, no sketching stuff, and I don't get to do it either. So it's everybody's being fair. So.
What? Wait, we have a time limit.
The time limit for this is going to be 15 minutes. So I'll get the timer set up now for it.
God, dude, this is such a. I wish I could find Professor Cool because it's this image of a dude, and it works for this swag walk right here. But he's playing cards, you know.
Gotcha.
Let's get the cards.
All right, it says it's detachable, so detach already. No!
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, no.
No!
Are you serious? That one
I
had a
blue screened.
No.
All because I tried to flip the screen around in this.
Ah.
Oh, sure, now it pops out.
Okay, well, in the meantime, is there a reason behind your risque humor regarding your character designs?
I tend to be pretty detached emotionally in that respect. Bit of a sociopath in the way like
What program is this?
I act and enjoy like a normal person, but tend not to be that like horny of an individual or anything. So for me, mostly I'm drawing people, and when I get the reaction that people are uncomfortable with what I'm drawing, particularly in non-furries, that's why furries are less fun for me to draw for. Because when it's non-furries looking at my super thick rat girl and they're like, "Why?" I think that's hilarious.
So
I
you
dig
do it
it.
for the
I love
reaction.
making people uncomfortable. Yeah, I do make people uncomfortable. I think it's very fun. That empowers me.
I think that's kind of similar to what Docs gets out of his jokes.
A lot of the stuff I do is for the lulz.
Oh yeah.
And, okay. Wow. Talk about chicken scratch. I promise I can write. It's just different writing on this, this image itself.
You going with some colored line art there? Something like that?
Yeah, I'm feeling some salmon for this boy.
Gotcha. All right. I have derped long enough. I know what I'm going to be doing for the most part. I think I know how I want to tackle this, but I'm not confident, so we'll see how it goes. You're writing down your stuff? Go ahead. Yeah, by all means, write down what you're going to be doing. No. That's going to get annoying quick. Let's see.
Now you see why I don't write anything.
Raynil is describing my the character I'm going to be doing. Pushes glasses up. An orc wizard who is also a knight would be an eldritch knight, but they still have to use an INT as their spellcasting ability, and orcs have a -2 interracial modifier, which is suboptimal.
Did you say suboptimal?
Don't criticize my character. I did it on purpose to make the difficulty that much
I was
harder.
actually going for the power gamer. I was like, how can you not optimize? Think about the leap.
I'm not an edgelord. I don't need to have all the power in the world. It's more of an accomplishment.
Lord.
It's more of an accomplishment when I'm at a disposition than to have all the power in the world to make it easier for myself. That's not sportsmanlike.
You've got it.
Barking like means you lose.
Raynil's like the fact that I have caused this pleases me. Yep, that's my buddy right there. That's my buddy.
Well, I'm talking about. Right? I was talking about how I love his reaction.
Mm-hmm.
The stitch on the heart. Oh, God. Boy. Oof.
That's
Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted. Good.
he's former Navy as well, so he
Watching the
comes
whole
from the
part.
same
I think
likeness
talked
that I
briefly
do.
Last night.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, all right. Well, everything that we've been dreading is now coming to a head, and it is time to do this bitch. So we have 15 minutes. No prep, no nothing. Let's just do it, get it over with, and see what happens. Will I create the next Chungert? I doubt it. But let's do it anyways. 15 minutes, starting now. Oh, boy. I'm in trouble. Okay.
Another resolution. Okay.
Let's go.
I'll work with this.
Oh, God, his hat already looks like it's on fire. So that's a good sign.
See, the trick is, the reason I picked this is because guys with mustaches only have one nose. It's a known fact. So, I'm gonna leg up. Oh, my frame rate's suffering. Might have to cancel some of these tags. Here, yeah. Cancel that too.
Oh, good. It's totally okay. Okay. Learning. Control Z doesn't work. Okay, cool.
Ha! Welcome to Photoshop. You know my number
No,
one
no,
problem?
this is
when I hit
Krita.
Control Z, it should go back, not back, and then back to where I start. Why would you do that, Photoshop?
Let's see.
Oh wow, he
There
instantly
we go.
became like, his name instantly became Armstrong as soon as I drew the mustache. That's incredible. I'll go with something simple here.
So he's magical because he's a wizard. So his hat's just kind of floating up there, and so that's what's going on in that area there. So don't question it. It just is.
So I'm interested. Are you glad you didn't take the barista?
I think I could have.
How would you draw a barista?
I would have probably given him like the Markiplier kind of hair, and then
Wait, I did not do that. To be fair.
no, that's fine. You don't have to do that. I'm just
No, I
figured-
said I didn't not do that. That is kind of.
And then he's a wizard. He needs to have those special glasses. Even though his int modifier sucks, he needs to have something that shows that he at least tries to read. Okay, so that's not so bad, but he's got to be badass. He's got to have like a slit across his. There we go. That's how I'm going to try and portray this, and I'm going to leave a lot of it to like the imagination about why he has certain things.
That's the Christian way of saying it. To the imagination.
Okay.
Playing with the glasses. I feel like. Nah, I actually did okay with the eyes. Can't give him any more of a nose or a mouth really, because with a mustache like that, if you at that point a chin like that and a mustache like that, you add in a mouth and God and the FBI will start knocking.
Yeah.
You just can't. Maybe if we're really brave, hope we don't get raided, we'll add a stiff upper lip. There we go. That neck is not.
Talk about your process, honey. What are you doing for your guy? What sort of direction are you trying to do with him? Like right now, I'm trying to portray that he's both a knight and a wizard. So the best way to do that, I feel, is to try and portray that he is still wearing armor, even though he's not like, even though he's not like really meaty. He has this to help him protect.
Mine's a barista, but I've been kind of taken by the mustache, and well, for the body, I'm going. He's a barista, but for the body, I'm going like he's a pillar man. I mean, at least he's in the background of a JoJo. Like he's a barista in JoJo, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I do that weeb shit, but you know,
I
the
got
pillar
you.
man theme is playing when he shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
He just serves the coffee as the music crashes.
Didn't you sure up that there? You draw a mustache, you better draw it right. Come on. Oh my.
Yeah, I'm not the best at talking while I'm drawing. I'm not really used
I
to
think
people
the distraction
watching
will help me.
until
If it
recently.
bothers you,
No. By all means,
Then I'm
we
talking?
need to fill airtime
Okay.
too. So
Not
part
at
of the
all.
challenge
oh,
is
okay, then I'll fill the space. Yeah, okay. I just didn't know if it was bothering anyone that I'd talk. I tend to be. That face is so cool. You did that? Wait, which one's you? Oh, that's
that's
Mika's
Spirey.
right.
That's
Oh,
her
Mika's
face.
Spirey.
I'm working on like the
Thought that was an
midriff
orc.
area.
I forget what you did.
Well, I'm doing the orc. I thought.
Yeah, you're doing the orc.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought that was the orc. That's why I thought it was you.
Oh, gotcha.
Did you get? Hold on. Oh no! I just remembered what you got.
Oh yeah, the pregnant man from the future.
So with 3 of these being done, right? This is going to become what was it? One of these, or pick one of these to help to. Well, one of these will protect you. The other 2 will try and kill you.
Oh, there you go.
Choose your fighter.
Well,
You know.
our plan later on is to eventually incorporate maybe a story, and then we can each draw out scenes for the story as we progress. Kind of like how Drawfee does their little D&D
Right, and
campaign.
with Drawfee, I think I've designed a Drawfee character, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Super unfortunate. I don't tend to be as cartoonish as them. I do enjoy them to a heavy degree. Julia gets on my nerves sometimes, but I know she's a fan favorite, so I don't voice that opinion. I mean, my complaints with that one in particular, like Julia heavy episodes and whatnot, is it becomes like a sitcom of okay, gang. So what are you? It's your turn, Julia. Wait, what are we doing? That's our Julia. And then everyone does a sitcom pose, and I'm just like, pay attention. I mean, yeah, that's her, and that's how she is. I shouldn't criticize a person for being how they are, but it really sounds like they're just disinterested in everything, and I don't jive with that kind of person. Sure, she's great, but it's not my thing. Nothing personal, just how you are. Nothing personal, kid.
Personnel. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing personnel, I might say. I need to, before the stream ends, bring up the Ronin Nothing Personnel kid from Titanfall 2. That was one of those 40-minute ones I did that turned out really awesome.
I remember the
was
whole
just so
personnel
mad at
kid
getting
one was
killed.
actually a Sonic fan art kind of thing.
I have seen that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I have seen it for sure. He's going to wear my shirt. Yeah, he's going to wear a big V-neck. He's probably going to roll up his sleeves, isn't he?
Time wise, we are at the 4 minutes 45 second area. So,
Remaining?
yep.
Oh, good thing I drew a barista.
Yeah.
This will be easy. I just have to make sure everything is actually lined. Oh no, he has to have cards.
He does need to have cards for yours. Yes, that's part of what you designed.
Not that bad. It's easy. I didn't design shit. I took it. Don't you push this evil on me. I've got plenty of evil already. Well, he's going to be a lot less jacked, but hey, we've survived. And the hands are already drawn. But we have to change them. Yeah. This.
Let's see.
Oh, cards are so weird because they occupy 3D space, but they're as close as you could get to two-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it kind of makes it a little easy. I really want him to have a wristwatch.
We're at the 3-minute mark.
Yeah. Does he really need pants? That wasn't required.
I mean, I guess not.
Like I said, a pillar man. No. We'll do something really rudimentary
Let's
here.
see, let's read some things. So we got the non-free furry says kind of restoration best tool. So he's complimenting on the way that you're doing stuff. Is the barista the stand or the character? And then barista.
Oh yeah, it's the
And then
character.
Rainiel says, so JoJo, these are going to be JoJo characters. Gotcha.
Jeez. Is that a fucking JoJo reference?
That's totally a JoJo reference.
That's probably my favorite meme out of it. Is that? Why is it gotta be? I just looked up. Why is it an X-ray? Oh, he's not wearing shoes. No, this guy's a barista. He's a hipster. As cool as he is, he's not wearing shoes. Oh my god, they draw feet like that. I can't. Alright, well, I'll draw his toes here. Yeah, his pant leg will come down like that. Am I using the right brush? Yeah, I am. And we'll just put on a belt line. Gonna get a little more animated here. Ooh, do I dare show a little bit of that hip? I think I will. Risque.
How dare.
Hip. But that's lewd.
We're at 1 minute, so
God, that's not fair.
No, it's not.
nope, not at all.
What you didn't know, plot twist, he's a cyborg. Or was it, no, he's from the post-apocalypse and lost one.
What else do I want to do?
Because I don't know how well I can draw it. I can trace an arm, I should say, in this few seconds. We'll see. You know, times... A lot more can happen in a second than you like to think, you know? And it's not about the 1 second. The second's got friends. And that second's got friends. You know, there's a whole bunch of seconds here to work with. No pressure. Just take it easy. I want it to be a strap, though.
And that is time.
Oh, darn.
Can't draw the Starbucks logo, but... There! Oh, no!
I missed an
I
element.
didn't draw all of his
because
pant legs. Oh, well.
I didn't get his feet. So.
I just gotta try and move this.
He totally has only one pant leg. I can't draw legs like that. Like, I can't draw legs like this base works. It's like, that's not how I do.
Well,
Wowie.
now we get to go through all of the different stuff. Let's see what we got. First, let's go have a look over at... let's go have a look at SplatterCat. SplatterCat, you did this.
I
You now have
did
to answer for it. Tell you what, I mean, considering how
Now I wish
how,
I could. Yeah.
That is one sexy mustache.
I say
I do wish. Yeah.
considering how fluid it is, you definitely nailed those elements right there.
Yeah, the simple shapes and whatnot seem to be my forte. I do wish, in retrospect, wish I could maybe make a cleft in the chin, but I think more importantly would be a collarbone and pectoral, cleavage,
Mm-hmm.
and a Starbucks logo on the chest. But that's come on.
Yeah.
At that point,
gotcha.
I'd photo bash it in. Like I would just take a Starbucks logo and morph it to the shape I want, and then draw over it. Pro tip.
So now that we have your barista here with his cards and everything, what's his name? 'Cause you got to name it.
Yeah. Chev.
It's Chev.
Yeah, CHEV.
Okay, Chev the barista stand with the magic poker cards.
His stand is.
Well, no, these are the stands.
God, I've got to think of a song. Hold on, I had one. There was a hot coffee song. I'm trying to think.
Oh, a hot coffee. I was gonna say, why don't you just make it the Joker's Wild from Insane Clown Posse, just because it's so out there.
That would be a stand, though. His stanza higher is for lovers. Grats. You just did that. That's your
Indeed.
fault.
All right, now let's go have a look over at Spirey. What do we got for Spirey? Spirey, what did you do? Oh my God, what in the world did you do? I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you nailed the whole pregnant man thing for sure, but
Why is it a 3? Like, I just saw someone
How do
do
we go full
pregnant,
screen
like,
with this?
fetish art and whatnot, and this happened, and I looked up and said, why is it X-rayed?
How do we go full
Is this a... Have you been
I
practicing?
don't know for this.
Has this been on your mind? It seems like you know. some
you
things.
really did develop this, and
Seem to be on
you
the
went for
inside
it.
here.
So try to explain the elements. What is this future guy? Because
Explain
he looks
yourself.
almost like you went the orc route.
I guess so. He's kind of a hybrid. I figured he's got a little bit of alien in him. He's got a cone head. He's got some mechanical parts that he's been modified with.
I really like how you made the right arm with, like, the bolt in it, and it's still implied that it's, like, a robot. Just in a mannequin-type way. Like, it's
Thank you.
it's got a lot of plating over it.
I debated going a little dirty with the nipple knob there, but I moved it up.
A journey. Just see where it takes us. I just see Bob Ross going, yeah, we're just going to put a happy little nipple knob in there. Just see where it takes us. No pressure.
That works. And then, of course, we're gonna go to.
Sorry, she did something incredibly intelligent, which was giving him a sash. If I was smart, I would have not cut off his apron to be sexy. It would have just covered the legs.
Well,
Yeah.
I realized we were running out of
Hey,
time.
I'll give you
and
props.
He's pregnant,
That
so
was
he's
way
part
better.
mom, and well,
That was way better thinking, Well, yeah, I guess I haven't been.
Yeah, I like how you portrayed the pregnant baby being seen through the stomach to show you that this dude is
I
totally
was literally
pregnant.
given an apron and didn't do it, which is just on me. That's 100%.
This dude is not trying to fake being pregnant for insurance money. He is absolutely pregnant. That's what's going on right here. This is not healthcare. This is or Medicare. This is not Medicare welfare. This is the real legit. All right, and now it's on to my oh boy. Okay, so I gotta fix this up a little bit because we didn't add this in earlier. But yeah, this is my cretin. Yeah. You may ask questions. I welcome it.
You really nailed the super mutant look.
Super mutant.
He looks like when a super mutant puts on glasses,
Well, I'm actually proud of the fact that I was able to get the orcish features. Let me zoom
Oh,
into
yeah.
it. I got the face
what are
fairly well.
super mutants but orcs?
Exactly. And he's got a bit of the wrinkly teeth. You can either call those teeth or you can call those like the folds above the lips to show how he's old and battle scarred. And of course, he's a wizard, so he's got to have glasses. His hat is floating above his head because he's just that magical. But he's a former knight too, so he's got the shield. He's got
a link thing going on there.
kind
with
of
his
yeah.
outfit.
I realized that I really screwed up the robe, so I just made sure that it was just kind of loosely robed.
I'm thinking of like the hero's song, but on the kazoo.
Yeah, it's just like how you have the poor kazoo playing, for Titanic and stuff like that. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. That's it.
I almost see this as like an orc Jedi Knight who's trying
Yeah.
to like do stuff, but he's got the stupid hat.
I use the same pose almost for my for my like Gray Jedi concept, and that's one of my favorite drawings.
But yeah, that's my orcish wizard knight with a cane, for sure. His name.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Go
I
ahead.
got to figure out his name is Throck the Shiny Rock. That's him. Throck the Shiny Rock. Because I like alliteration. Oh, you know what? We forgot to ask your dude. What was his name?
Knobby Nipple Nanny.
Knobby Nipple Nanny. I totally forgot to ask the name of that, and yeah.
Stop that.
Boy.
Anyways,
Stop what?
stop
Now what I
what
gotta do
you
is I gotta
know
put-
what you did.
Yep, you know what you did. So, Spyre's Novel Nippy Nanny. We have my Throck the Shiny Rock.
Yeah.
And-
Chev has a last name. It's Aspen. Yeah,
And then we
it's Chev
have-
Aspen.
Chev Aspen. So this is where we start getting the viewers involved. There are 6 of you right now, so we should have at least 2 votes for each person because we all equally suck. But let's start casting some votes. Who won the challenge? Who's going to win the Chungert Prize of Excellence in Art? Let's see about getting some. Let's see about getting some votes in there. A for our visitor, SplatterCat. B for Spyre, and C for Throck the Shiny Rock. If you just want to vote in the chat over there.
While they're doing that.
While they're
excuse
doing
me
that.
For a second.
Oh boy, what are you drawing a bulge over there for? Oh dear, what are you doing?
I'm not doing it for votes or anything. I'm not trying
Uh-huh.
to pander. I'm not fan servicing here.
Gee.
What are you talking about? Kill me.
Kill you. Jesus. But yeah,
Oh.
see about portraying your votes over inside of the Twitch. We'll take a little bit of a break. I'm still going to talk over it just because we don't need to change screens for this. You guys need to see what's being voted upon and
Have fun
see
with
the
the
shame
break.
that fills
I'm gonna take
all
a
of
smoke.
us. This definitely isn't a Chungert, but it's definitely
You'll have to show me Legendary Chunger, but I'm going to be right back.
okay. Oh goodness. Goodness, it's a long night. That's for sure. It's already 10 o'clock, and I'm going to lose sleep. I have to get up around 4:30 in the morning, and it's 10 o'clock here in Central Time, and that means I'm only going to maybe get about 6.5 hours of sleep. So, but that's okay because for shows like this, it's absolutely worth it. The lack of sleep, the loss of it, even. We got a couple more votes that we can do. By all means, in the chat, if you vote A, that is for Chez, the barista, the card-playing barista. B for the pregnant man from the future. And C for the orcish night wizard with a cane. That's what we got. Go ahead and vote. I will close the votes up in about 2 minutes, and we will go just based off of which votes have the most popular. That being said, to let you guys know what's going on Thursday, we will have another artistic guest. We will be featuring
Dragon Meld.
Dragon Meld. She will be on next, and we'll talk about the way she does her art with a couple of examples from what she does. And on Tuesday next week, hopefully we can have the music guest on there. If not, then we'll figure out something for there. But we're also talking about having a show where we do have our previous guests of Fleety, Dragon Meld, and
SplatterCat.
SplatterCat here,
Yes.
all participating in nothing but a 2-hour romp of different games. It'll be Spyre versus Fleety versus SplatterCat versus Dragon Meld versus me. Oi. And we'll figure out how to do a layout for all 5 people, but we'll figure that out. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll do something. Ooh, Gloomore says he's having a hard time. He or she is having a hard time deciding on a vote. That's a good sign right there. Well, I can tell you this much. Don't waste your vote on me, okay?
Oh, stop you. You did good.
Nah. You don't have to pat my butt. I got enough hot air in my head, okay? We'll go through all the pictures again just to give everybody another little close-up. We've got Ches, the barista. We've got Throck, the Shiny Rock, as the Orc Wizard Knight with a cane. And, of course, we have the Nobby Nipple Nanny, the futuristic man who's pregnant. Those are your voting criteria. A for Ches, B for the Nobby Nipple Nanny, and C for the Throck, the Shiny Rock. Just type your vote there inside of Twitch chat. We will tabulate it, and then we will determine who did not suck the most. Tell you what, I'm definitely ready to go to bed.
It's been a long day.
It's been a very long day, but it's been a very productive day, that's for sure. I'm very glad that we still got to do the show tonight, so props to that. I think we have a SplatterCat coming back. SplatterCat. SplatterCat.
Here he comes to save the day.
SplatterCat does whatever a cat splatters. I don't know, whatever.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So the votes have been tabulated. Of the 6 people, we have 4 votes. Yeah, we have 4 votes right now. We have 4 votes. So based on the criteria that has come out, based on the winner that we have a tie. And the tie is between A and B. So, what do? Do we do a sudden death, or do we just decide to let it go up to a coin toss to see who wins the Chongert Award of Excellence? Since I'm the loser, I guess I'm going to pick the toin cost because I'm dyslexic.
Yes. I'm sorry, but just I don't know why I draw such sexy men. Like I see this man, I'm like, man, look at that. Look at that man. Look at that. You know, I want to know what's under that apron. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, kids? Personally, I think if the bulge was in there in the original, I think, we could count it and that would tip me over the edge just by default. But
It's
man,
possible.
I can't say Nobby Nipple Nanny isn't doing it for me. It's just a name, maybe.
I'll tell you what,
You got like Mogo's Wet Nurse, and now you have Nipple Nanny.
Well, like I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it to a toin cost because I can't say it the right way. And if it lands on heads, then you win. If it lands on tails, then Spider wins. So I'm going to do the coin toss right now. Here we go. Fling! Oh, I think I hit the laptop with that. But we have a heads! Which means that the Chongert Award of Excellence is going to go to
I wasn't listening.
SplatterCat. SplatterCat wins.
Yay!
Good job, SplatterCat. You won.
Yep, there we go.
You have won the Chongert Award of Excellence. Honey, let me get that. I gotta.
I sent it to you.
Yeah, I know you did.
Drag
I
and
just
drop.
gotta actually get over into
Drag
it.
and drop, dude.
I know. I'm working on it. Jeez. I don't even see it. Where is it at? There it is. Okay. There it is.
Wow.
So there we are. That is the Award of Excellence.
Beautiful. Fuck me.
Because I can't copy it right now, so we'll just do it that way.
Went
All right.
viewers because of that.
Yeah, I know. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. We can always go back and post and blur stuff. It's all good. Anyway.
Chev is, bringing them in.
Chev is doing good, so that's good. So, all right.
An aspen is a tree, so is it Chev's aspen? Is that it? Like, it's comma aspen?
I don't know. I mean, with as much
It's
wood as you're
tree.
pushing up, it could be a lot of different things.
That's what I'm saying, Got a whole tree, got a log in there.
All right. Well, that will do it for the end of today's show. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for joining us for tonight. It was definitely a fun experience. I'm glad we got our second show to go off as well as it did as the first one. So, where can everybody find your stuff?
Under your bed after midnight.
Oh, boy.
And in that alley, the one. Also on DeviantArt/CarryOnCat. So I'll just put that in the chat.
DeviantArt, Carry On Cat. There we go. Anything else, or any other places where people can see your art?
put the link in I'm gonna give it to you since I don't even have a Twitch account.
Okay, that's fine. And we will, like I said, we'll list it
Yep.
inside of the YouTube and everything so that people can see you. And
yes.
then you are now officially inside of inside of the Tomorrow's Today server, going
Yeah,
to
you
move
spelled
over
it
to
right.
an honored guest. We'll change your role tonight, right? All right, everybody, thank you for joining us and enduring
This
with
is
us
really
for the whole 3 hours. And we will see you guys in the next one on Thursday. Have a good night.